Everybody's got a prize. Everybody's gonna pay. Everybody, it's Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, and you're listening to the Wrestle Talk Podcast.
And I'm the Night Owl. This is the Wrestle Talk. 657-383-1521. We'll be discussing WWE, NXT, the Underground, ROH, Fantasy Wrestling. We'll have some of the best damn interviews for professional and independent wrestling that you've ever heard.
And I'm Joe Lane. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle your seatbelts, keep your arms in the vehicle at all times. Wrestle Talk begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Enjoy the ride. What is up, Wrestle Talk? How the heck is everybody doing? Nightmare Jones is here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's episode 300!
Woo!
I am so excited, ladies and gentlemen. It is episode 300 of the Wrestle Talk Podcast with Joe and Renee. And I cannot keep my excitement contained, ladies and gentlemen. So, we got your high spot segment tonight. We got your shooting shop segment. We got your Wrestle Talk Podcast game show challenge. We got your fantasy wrestling segment. If that's not enough, we've got Tim Miller coming on at 7:15. We got PCO coming on at 7:45. We got Derek Stone coming on at 8:30. And throughout the entire night, we're going to have all kinds of special guests coming on. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And to honor episode 300, your boy Jonesy did a thing today. And as a matter of fact, if you go to the Wrestle Talk Podcast with Joe and Renee in just a couple minutes, it's coming. If you go to the Wrestle Talk Podcast with Joe and Renee, you will see exactly what I did. Ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and bring in the man, the myth, the legend, the Night Out. Antoine Timmy, if you don't find that music in 5 seconds,
¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? What up, bro? Welcome to episode 300 of the Wrestle Talk Podcast. Thank you guys for joining us in this amazing, stellar, spectacular, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious celebration, as today is our 300th birthday. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit. It's our 300th episode, but it's also a birthday of sorts, Nightmare Jones. And you know what I want to do? I want to thank everybody who's tuning in live, but I want to start off this show differently than we've done any other show, because not only is today special to yours truly, because it is episode 300, but also it is my beloved son's 11th birthday. So, intern Timmy, I told you about that music I wanted you to hit. Ladies and gentlemen, making his first appearance on the show, he's going to join us for just a couple of moments, my son, the one and only Fury! Hit the music! To you, birthday to you, happy birthday, dear Fury. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Fury. Slide into the shot, bro. Slide into the shot. Right here. You're good, right here. Oh, wait, there's a part 2 of the song? I didn't know that. Jonesy, wish my son a happy birthday, bro. What a huge day it is for this young man. He's getting adult-sized sneakers now. He's getting cash. No more toys. No more clothes. How do you feel, Fury? Happy birthday, bro.
I feel really good.
Speak up into the microphone.
I feel really good. it's an honor to feel like an adult now.
You feel it? So you ready to pay taxes?
No, absolutely not.
Jonesy, wish my boy a happy birthday, bro. Oh, okay, I'm getting a message. We got a lot of callers on the line. Jonesy screening. Okay, so one question, and we'll let you get out here to go back and hit the video game and eat some pizza, because I know that's what you love. Tell me one thing that you love about professional wrestling at 11 years old, because when I was 11 years old, Attitude Era, it was the best time of my life. What do you love about professional wrestling? Speak up, right over there.
What I love about professional wrestling is there's a lot of things. There's the different personalities and it's like a magic cauldron. It's a magic cauldron, like mixing all together, and independent shows and the WWE and NXT. All those things just mix greatly in that big cauldron and makes that really good green ooze. And then once it comes spilling out, everybody gets a taste of it.
So everybody gets a taste of the ooze?
Uh-huh.
That's kind of inappropriate.
Ow.
I'm sorry, you're too young for that. You're too young for that, boy. Well, everyone, I'm going to let Fury get out of here, but happy birthday, son. I know as soon as wrestling opens back up, whether it be here in the Midwest or if we get to travel out to the coast or whatever, we're going to go back to some wrestling shows, and I know you're going to be riding shotgun with your old pop, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Well, I love you. Happy birthday, and I'll catch you later, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody say adios to Fury, the ooze. Hey, the show's going to continue, guys. Jonesy, I know we got a lot to get to, bro, so why don't we go ahead and do what we always do about this time, where we ask everybody to respectfully remove their cap, put their hands over their hearts as we pay homage to the greatest country on God's green earth, and that's America, damn it.
Go on, Anton, Timmy.
Oh, say, can you see?
And the Rockets.
Regular.
Uh-oh. I'll make up for it now. For the land of the free.
Brings a tear to my eye every single time. But ladies and gentlemen, we already have callers calling in. It's 35. It is. Oh crap! What is the number, Renee?
657.
I'm gonna have the same call.
I got you, bro. I got you. And
Yeah.
listen, and as we wait for Tim Miller to call, as we wait for Tim Miller to call in, we're gonna bring in callers throughout the night. So if you love us, you hate us, you're kind of on the fence, dial that number 657-383-1521. If you want to shit all over us, that's cool. If you want to come in, talk wrestling, you want to promote your gimmick, you want to promote your promotion, we don't care. Come on, show us some love, just interact with us, dang it. We want to feel the vibes tonight. This is a huge night for the Wrestle Talk podcast, guys. Without a doubt, the biggest show we've ever done, and we want you to be a part of it. Right, Jonesy?
We do. We absolutely do. And as a matter of fact, we'll go ahead and bring in the caller right now for a couple of minutes. And so, Timmy, go ahead and hit that music.
I'm too sexy for my love. Too sexy for my
You gotta turn that up, though. You gotta turn it up. Okay, that's definitely...
Ladies and gentlemen,
We're definitely getting flagged for that.
welcome back for the first time in I don't know how long, ladies and gentlemen, we have a originator of the Wrestle Talk podcast, the one and only Justin Time. What's going on?
What's up, fellas? What's going on?
What up, Justin?
Oh, my goodness.
How you guys been? How you guys doing? How's everything in the world with Wrestle Talk?
Dude, I gotta ask you, did you ever think that Wrestle Talk would get to episode 300? Did you ever
No,
think
not-
that would happen?
No, not with that, not with you around. But, anyways, Joe, man, I love you, man. No, congratulations on 300 episodes.
I, of course, was one of the first, if not the first caller from the indie scene, if I'm correct, right, Joe?
You know what? And I'm getting a head nod from Joe. It sounds like it, Justin. And I'll tell you what, if we disappear throughout the night, guys, don't be mad at us. We got a lot of callers on the line. Well, Justin, here's what I want to ask you. And then we got to get Walter on from Journey Pro. He's doing us a huge solid by calling in today. And, obviously everybody's wondering what's going on with Journey. I know he wants to show some love. But here's what I want to ask you, Justin. So you say no, but obviously the Wrestle Talk podcast took kind of it's kind of evolved over the years, dating back to the Covey Pro stuff when it first started with Rick Rose until we are today. To you, what was that factor? Just being a guy that's been loyal to the show since the very beginning, what do you think that factor is, the dynamic that makes the Wrestle Talk podcast special, man? You can speak on it since you've been here since the very beginning.
Well, the good thing is you guys don't carry on just about the WWE or about AEW or Ring of Honor, the big named companies. You guys go into the indie scene. You guys brought Covey Pro to a big format, so everybody could learn about indie companies like Covey Pro and other companies around, that area, around, West Virginia, Virginia, Maryland. Plus, if I remember correctly, Kansas City, you guys did a couple shows about the Kansas City indie groups. So,
yes.
I mean, you guys have actually, made indie big. You guys make people turn away and look from the WWE and those big name guys and go, hey, indie wrestling. Most of these guys who are on the WWE are now, where did they come from? This is where they come from. This is your next group. These are the guys in 10 years, 12 years. These are the guys who are going to be performing on the WWE on the greatest teams of them all.
So awesome. Well, Joe, I know we got Walter waiting, and then we're going to jump right over to Tim. Did you have any final thoughts or questions for our longtime member of the Wrestle Talk family, Justin Time?
Yes, I have one final question. Are you still mad at Gavin Jackson for injuring you?
No. I mean, there is one thing I would like to say. I don't want to bring the hype down.
All right.
For you guys, because I'm great weekend. Great day for you guys. 300 episodes, but I've got to put out my heart to Michael Blade and Danny Havoc from CCW this weekend. We lost two guys that, unfortunately, I never got the honor to meet. But, I've worked in locker rooms with other guys who have been in there, men and women, and this weekend was heartbreaking for a lot of close personal friends of mine. So my heart goes out to their family.
Absolutely. Justin, it has been absolutely amazing to have you come on tonight. We'll have to get you back on the guest so we can talk about, what's been going on in pro wrestling with Justin Time. So just promise us that you will come back sometime.
Yeah, I don't think Justin's the kind of guy you got to ask. I think he's there. So, Justin, I know you can still hear us, bro. Absolutely love to have you back. Well, real quickly, let me make a fast transition. We're going to go from the Eastern Panhandle right here to the good old heartland of the United States, Kansas City. And then, as promised, in just about 3 minutes, we're going to bring on Tim Miller to give us a little bit of a rundown about his career, because I know he's a guy that's got a lot of great stories that he wants to share. Want to encourage you guys to keep dialing that number, 657-383-1521. And if you're watching us live on social, please hit the hearts, the thumbs up, but most importantly, share this broadcast. All that said, this one here. All that said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome one of the 3 prestigious owners of one of the hottest promotions on the planet right now. And luckily for me, it happens to be based out of good old Kansas City, the one and only Walter Fulbright. What up, Walter?
Hey, what's up, fellas? How's it going?
¿Qué pasa, bro? ¿Qué pasa?
How you doing?
I just took a shot, man.
Woo!
Take it, Jimmy.
Yeah, take another one. Hell yeah. How you doing, man? What's up?
Hey, man. Congratulations to you guys. What an incredible achievement for Wrestle Talk to get to 300 episodes. I think probably 1% of 1% of podcasts ever make it that far. I'm really proud of you folks. It's a huge accomplishment, and I hope you really get to soak it in today.
Oh, you hear that, Joe? We're getting props. You were getting props from one of the best promoters in the country right now. How does that feel, Jonesy, all the way in Martinsburg, West Virginia?
I hear you.
TV. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to catch Joni Funk Show, all you gotta do is get a subscription to independentwrestling.tv. And why don't you have a subscription yet? There's so much independent wrestling on independentwrestling.tv. Like, there's more independent wrestling you could possibly think of, including Joni Pro.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We're real proud of those shows and work hard on them. It's been tough because we were supposed to have a show on March 24th, and so we've had 3 shows canceled right now because of where we're at. But I tell you right now, it's going to have a different look when it comes back. Because of course we're going to be in a new venue, but we got some things cooking. And, not really the right time to make any announcements or anything like that. But I just want to say, pay attention to Dirty Crow over the next couple of weeks, and you're going to hear some real good news.
Dude, well, that makes me very excited, especially just because, I'm here local, Walter, and it's been rough seeing the incredible momentum that a lot of the companies in this area had basically just kind of go out the window because of everything that's been happening between COVID-19 and some of the other stuff that's going on after that. I guess my final question to you, man, is you've never been hesitant to stay in touch with us here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Like, you've always made it a point, like, hey, Renee, let's figure out a time to make this work. Let's get something going. Do you think that, the torch has kind of been passed, so to speak, in regards to, there's a lot of secrecy. A lot of people are like, no, we don't want to do this sort of media, that sort of media. But you guys have embraced us. You guys have embraced podcasts. You guys have embraced social media. Do you think that plays to your strength? Because clearly you guys have one of the best followings in social media. So I'm guessing that you guys don't shy away from it because it served you well.
I just think I really love the sound of my own voice. But you guys have a great show. I don't take every show that I've been offered or we talked about. But the reason I like to come on with you is because you and I have had conversations. You're here and you're part of my community, and you were there for us when we were first starting up. So no matter where
that's always going to be something I'm going to make time for because it's a good product, and I'm happy to help support it.
Wow, what a huge compliment. Well, Walter, thank you so much. Cue up that music as we welcome in our first featured guest, the one and only Tim Miller.
Tim, what's going on, sir? Welcome to the podcast. How's it going?
I am so pleasure to be here tonight with you and your broadcast. This is the only that I am giving to any podcast on this subject.
Look, that is absolutely amazing. We
Nice.
are honored and privileged to have that honor. So I'm gonna go ahead and kick it off. So after many years of being associated with the MMWA and SICW, you joined the MVWA in a bunch of roles, from commentator to the manager of Miller's Violent Wrestling Alliance. Why did you choose to go to MVWA?
I did that because the MMWA and the SICW were stuck in an old school environment. They couldn't get past a modern way of doing wrestling business. I realized that things were changing, and that we had to be a more shock value.
Okay. Yeah, that's totally understandable. So
I'll be honest with you. before DX and all that stuff, me and my crew, Jeff Rocket, The Beast, Techno Kid, guys of that nature, we pushed the envelopes far beyond what was expected. You know what I mean?
Hmm? Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. And, you know, the name Techno Kid really sounds familiar. Renee, where have I heard that name from before?
I don't know, bro.
Techno Kid.
Well, we all know that
An amazing performer. Amazing performer. I will say this.
We've heard that.
That man did things in the ring that was unexpected. He went beyond what he was paid for, and amazing.
Well, I will say this real quickly, Jonesy. You know, Luke Roberts, who formerly known as the Disco Kid, is a big part of our social media and our media relations.
That's who he is.
He is a very classy and hardworking individual, and I would be remiss if I didn't say this, Tim. If it were not for Luke Roberts, the Wrestle Talk podcast would not be where it is today. So I'm glad that you brought him up, because if anybody deserves flowers, it's our guy, Luke Skywalker Roberts, formerly known as the Disco Kid.
You know, I'll say this too. You know, I had a vision one time. You know, I wanted to come off the top rope with a splash. I was the manager, but we wanted to go beyond that. And Luke Roberts, he told me, bring the damn to explain this, but it's hard to explain. But needless to say, I will say this. He said, bring the lighting apparatus to the ring. And Luke Roberts told me, jump off of that. That's 30 feet high. 30 feet high. and he told me, destroy my brother. And I did. Not once, but twice.
I'm pretty damn impressed. I got it right now. And I didn't know that. How come we never heard that story before, Joe? Now I'm a little jealous. I'm a little jealous right now.
Right? Right?
Yes.
Well, I know that we are pressed on time, because we got to get to PCO. So, Renee, why don't you come in here with whatever questions that you have?
Well, I appreciate that, Joe. Well, listen, Tim, and it's very hard to do this in such a short period of time, but how would you sum up your contributions to the professional wrestling business, particularly in the Midwest, after being here for so long? And how do you sum up your contributions, and how do you feel about pro wrestling in this area moving forward? I'd love to hear that from you, man. I'm sure you'll have an interesting perspective.
Now, Renee, is that for me or from Rob?
Well, that's for you.
Okay, I will answer that question. I will say this. I opened up a lot of doors, and I'm proud of that. Brandon Espinosa, Ace Hawkins, who appeared on WrestleMania. Many individuals. I've opened doors up for these young gentlemen. It's not easy to say, but I will say this.
All right.
But I did my best to open doors for youngsters.
Well, there's no question in my mind that you accomplished just like that, Tim. Now, you specifically, were you ever an in-ring competitor? For those that are not familiar with you,
I was.
For those that are not familiar with you, and also, what are some of your in-ring career highlights?
I did, Renee. I'll be honest with you. You know, I I stepped into the ring. I did what I could do for my competitors, my stable, the Beast, Jeff Rocket, Sabre, Billy Blunt, several others, Chris Knight. But it was never about me. It was always about them.
Well, I personally appreciate that selflessness, and you know, we need to see more of that. I think we need to see more people being selfless, with more people looking to see how they can help lift somebody else up. Because honestly, everything's become so me.
Exactly, Rob.
Well, it's become so me. So, I guess and I'll go back to my question. How do you feel about the sport moving forward? Are you optimistic, or are you somewhat scared that what you remember as pro wrestling won't look anything like it 10 years from now?
You know, I'm afraid right now. I'll be honest with you. You know, this COVID and all this, you know, I had coronavirus. I beat it. I've been given plasma, helping others. But to be honest with you, I don't know where we're heading at this point and stage, you know. I'll be honest with you. It scares me. I do not like, you know, the studios, you know, with no fans or with staff members. I don't like that.
Yeah, it's definitely a little hard to stomach, but you know what? I'll say what I've been saying to everybody else. That kind of wrestling, to me, is still better than no wrestling. Like, I would rather have the studio stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than nothing.
I agree.
Bro, that
agree.
wrestling, that little bit of wrestling we got kept me sane. It kept me sane during this time, and I know it did for a lot of other people. A lot of other people.
Well, you know, I'll be honest with you. You know, I got involved in this in like 1978. I'll be honest with you. And there were 30 people in the crowd. And I'll be honest with you. You know, that's where we're at right now. I don't blame anyone, but we have to rebuild. We have to bring the fans back to where, you know, what we need to be.
Well, I agree with you, and you know what? Hopefully we can rebuild, and it sounds like there's a lot of young people who are willing to do things the right way, and hopefully that will continue to project the sport forward. Joe, I know you had at least one more question, but I want to make this last one. Tim, you know, being a kind of a fellow legend, particularly in the St. Louis area, recently we lost Tony Costa. Can you talk to us a little bit about working with the likes of Tony, Ed Smith, and of course Herb Simmons? Can you talk to us a little bit about that experience?
I will. Tony, Herb, Ed, these men, they were amazing. I will be honest with you. I never learned so much in my entire life from anyone than these men. These guys, they took me under their wing. I was a high school student in high school, and the ring announcer did not show up, and Bruiser Brody was the main event, and Herb Simmons and Larry Madison told me, Tim, you're the man tonight. You're announcing this. And I was shaking. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know how to take it. But the truth of it is that that's what wrestling's all about. You know, crowds come and go. You know, we had a sold-out crowd that night. But they made a dream come true. And I can't thank Herb Simmons enough.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tim. I can hear that even after all these years, you have that same passion that the young up-and-coming students and talent have for the sport. So I just... it's very exciting to me, Tim, just because...
had our problems in the past.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And what we're going to continue to do here on the Wrestle Talk podcast is not only highlight the new and up-and-coming talent. I mean, you heard Justin Time said, hey, you guys don't always talk about the same old. You guys like to give respect to the legends of the past, and I think there's no question in my mind, Tim, that you've made those sorts of contributions to the sport to leave a lasting impression. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and steal Joe's last question. I peeked over at his notes. No, okay, you're back. Joe, I know you had a question about an upcoming guest. Why don't you go ahead and squeeze that in so we can jump right over to our second featured guest of the evening, Ring of Honor's very own PCO. Go ahead, Jonesy.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. So my final question is, what are your thoughts on the professional wrestler Derek Stone?
PCO, are you there?
No, Tim. Joe is
No.
Joe's asking you about Derek Stone. Do you have any recollection of working with Derek Stone?
Oh, Derek Stone?
Yes,
You're
please.
asking me about Derek Stone?
Yes, sir.
Yes. This man is amazing. Derek Stone, a chiseled 285, 6'7". This man is amazing. Amazing. Harley Race built WW on his back. Derek Stone, I can't speak enough about him. Me and him were not friends, but Derek Stone will tell you there's a lot of respect there, Rob.
I love that.
Awesome.
Well, we're having him in the second hour of the show. Tim, thank you so much for making time for us tonight. I hope that we get an opportunity to run this back when things aren't so hectic. Welcome as the newest member of the Wrestle Talk family. Can you promise us you'll join us again very, very soon?
Absolutely. I will always make time for you guys. Always. You want answers, I will give you them. They're not always going to be sweet, but I will give you answers.
Awesome. You are absolutely amazing. You have a good night, Tim. Thanks for coming on.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Tim
Thank
Miller.
you for having me on.
Woo!
Wow.
Perfect.
Go ahead and get on to this next guest, because this next guest, you've seen him in Ring of Honor, you've seen him in the WWF, you've seen him in WCW. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our honor and privilege to bring on PCO. Yo, how's it going, sir? Welcome to the podcast. How are you tonight?
I'm awesome. I'm great. What about you guys?
We are absolutely awesome, sir. So I'm gonna go ahead and start it off. So you started wrestling in 1987. You formed a tag team with Evil Eddie Watts, known as the Super Bees. What was it like wrestling as part of the Super Bees?
Well, it was something very new for me because I've only been like an extra guy, a guy that was opening cards for International Wrestling in Montreal, doing some TV sometimes, getting squashed, being 18 years old, 17, 18. And I think I was 20 when I started to get pushed, as a major tag team and chasing the tag team belt. At the time,
Bulldog Bob Brown was very well known in Kansas City. Was the booker of the territory in Canada and the Maritimes, and he was partnering. His partner was Tokyo Masachono. So his name was Tokyo Chono. So it was me and Eddie Watts. Most of the nights were things trying to get those belts, chasing those belts against Bob Brown and Masachono. So it was going from openers, being opening matches to main event status. So it was a huge step and a great learning experience, and it was a lot of fun, and also a lot of bad days because I was learning so much because the step was so huge from, just getting started to having the pressure to perform on the main event status. It was the same for Bill Watts, actually, for my partner, Eddie Watts. So he was pretty green too. So we kind of both learned as we went on with the summer. So it wasn't not alone good with it, though. Not alone good.
That is absolutely awesome. Now, after you started wrestling, you went to the WWF, where you tag teamed with another Canadian, Jacques Rougeau, and you became one half of the Quebecers, which is awesome. I remember watching you all when I was younger, and you all had a big match at Royal Rumble where you all were part of the match where Owen Hart actually turned on Bret Hart. What was it like wrestling in that match at the Royal Rumble?
That was awesome because that was a big push, the big opportunity for Owen to shine, to show the world what he could do and what he was able to do and how talented he was. So having the chance also, the Harts didn't tag that much in WWF at the time. Bret and Owen together, it was one of the rare times that you could wrestle both Bret and Owen at the same time. And for us defending our titles against them and having, Owen turned on Bret at the end of the match and us retaining the titles, it was such a great experience. I was looking forward to this for a long time as a kid, to wrestle Bret, because Bret was a little bit older than me. Owen was kind of a little bit of my age, maybe a little bit older too. But I felt like we almost broke in together, me and Owen. But Bret, I've seen him with Jim Neidhart and all that. So it was a very special moment for me, that Royal Rumble '94. It was one of the greatest moment of my life.
Yeah, I remember that match. Now, my last question before I throw it to Renee is, you broke away from the Quebecers and you started wrestling as Jean-Pierre Lafitte, and you actually got to wrestle Bret Hart at In Your House 3 in 1995, and Dave Meltzer has just...
You're in the queue on the Wrestle Talk podcast with Joe and Renee. Who's this?
Jeremy, what's up, buddy?
What up, Jeremy? Who?
Jeremy Carr.
Oh, hey, Jeremy, got you. I had another Jeremy on hold, bro. Stay tight, all right? Thanks.
Yeah, I knew we had a good match, so it felt good, and I was very, very happy with the end result. Even though that I lost, I was happy with my performance. I was happy with our performances, and especially I was happy to be able to get a good, solid match, like the 5-star match with Bret, because then I knew that they would stretch, the rivalry, and that could be stretched out to something longer and something bigger, and then I was capable of doing that, and It was actually before they put us on the card with publicity and everything. I had this with Brett, and during it, I think it was in your house, 1 or 2 previous one as a dark match, you know. So as a main event dark match. So they put us together, and I guess, you know, they asked whether we wanted to, you know, have that feud with me, and Brett agreed, and that all happened, you know. The Royal Rumble match, the way me and Brett hit it off, like we were on the same page. He liked me, I liked him, and then he was really professional about every matches that we had, like pay-per-views and things like that. He would always give you his phone number beforehand so we could call, and very, very, very professional. Never left anything, you know, for granted, or we'll take care of it when we get there, or we'll see when we get in the ring. Or he was very, very professional. I really liked that about him, the way he was, the way he handled business.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember that match as well. Renee, why don't you come in here with whatever questions that you have? Because I know you have a bunch of questions.
Oh, dude, I absolutely do. And PCO, man, what an honor it is to have you on the show. I believe you're now on your 3rd decade of kicking ass and taking names in the world of professional wrestling. That sort of longevity, my friend, is something that we can applaud, especially here tonight on episode 300 of the Wrestle Talk podcast, man. Thank you so much for making time for us.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. I'm happy to be part of this.
Yeah, man, it's a real...
Great, you know? Congratulations on that.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. And just in your honor, I'm actually wearing my Toronto Blue Jays ball cap with a big old maple leaf right on the cover, man. So anybody who's watching us knows I'm wearing it, so that's because I got love for PCO. How about that?
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
I'm glad you like it. Well, I'm glad you like it. Well, let me get right into the questions. I actually have 2 separate people that will have their own questions. We've already vetted these people. No weirdos, so you don't have to worry about that, PCO. But I'm going to get mine in first. Because I am a Latino, I was very interested when I was doing my homework to see that you've not only worked inside the United States, but you've also worked outside of the United States, talking about promotions like IWA Puerto Rico and also All Japan Pro Wrestling. Can you give us a quick idea of what the difference is working outside of the United States and Canada, and then working inside the United States and Canada?
Well, I did a lot outside of the States and Canada. I did a lot in Germany and England as well, but there's something very unique and special. It's very different than Mexico, like from what I've heard. Like, I've been there, I've watched Lucha Libre over there. I've wrestled with a lot of guys on Lucha Libre, or like guys like Rouge and, you know, Dragon Lee, Bandito. But Puerto Rico, I mainly wrestled Carlos Colon on my first stint there was in 1992. So Carlos Colon and Vader, Jose Gonzalez.
Okay.
They were the 2 guys that I wrestled most of the time on the main event. And when I got back there in 2005, I wrestled Ricky Banderas, Mil Muertes, many times. And I won the Intercontinental belt from him there in Puerto Rico. And we feuded like for almost 6 months. So stadiums were full, you know, 12,000 people in different stadiums. Bayamon was a good TV taping place in Puerto Rico where we had like 4,000 or 5,000 people, or was always full for the TV tapings. And over there, like, it's very violent, you know. There's really, when you're a heel and people hate you, they throw things at you like cans and films and sometimes rocks or anything that they can get under their hands. So they'll throw it at the heel if you really get over it, if they really hate you. And I guess I was doing like a pretty good job of being a good heel, but I got into a lot of stuff with the fans, and it's just so different because it's more of a, if you go there very technical, or if you go there very trying to do a lot of high flying, people don't really care about that. They want to see a good old fight. They want to see a big brawl fight, and they want to see a lot of fire when you come back, when the baby face comes back. They want to see him jump and go crazy and break his face, and that's the kind of wrestling that Puerto Rico was all about. It's like very, very different. And then Japan, well, it's very much like when I was there for All Japan, I had the chance to wrestle like two of the best in the world, in Jun Akiyama and Kobashi.
Wow.
And I was teaming with Vader most of the night, a tag team, me and Vader, like for a good part of the tour. That was great working with Leon, and Kobashi is like one of the guys, the top guys there in Japan that would mix up with the Americans and Canadian guys. And some of the guys, they were like really their own things, like Outta was really tough to talk to, or Taue, most of the times with those guys in Misawa, you have to put your match together with the referee because they wouldn't even show up. So that's how it was in 2000. Now, from what I understand, like I was supposed to go for a tour just before Christmas time with New Japan Pro Wrestling, but Brody King had injured his knee, so we were pulled out of Tag League because I didn't have a partner. But from what I understand, talking to Marty and Zack Sabre and all the guys that I know that are going there very often, even like Jeff Cobb, and I've seen it at the Madison Square Garden during the G1 Super Guard and the Sold Out Madison Square Garden with ROH and New Japan Pro Wrestling, that everybody's kind of melting together. There's not that high step that it used to be there. The bosses and the top guys and the rest of the roster. So it was a great experience for me, All Japan. Loved the way the crowd reacts, the way it builds up into a match, and got to know John Laurinaitis a little bit better, and I thought it was a pretty cool dude. So I had a lot of fun there.
Wow, man. Well, thank you for sharing all that. And I know the listeners are real excited. Thank you to everybody who's tuning in live. And if you happen to be listening to the replay, we appreciate you just the same, guys. If you're tuning in, please hit that share button. It's real important for us to get this show out to everybody so everybody knows that we're celebrating episode 300 of the Wrestle Talk podcast. Well, PCO, I promised a couple of guys to come on the phone real quick. Some of them just want to make a quick statement. Some of them actually have a question. The first guy that I'm going to bring on really quickly is a multi-time champion here in the Midwest. Very well known for his contributions over at the Extreme Wrestling Center, Cape Championship Wrestling, and also Royal Alliance and XWE. Ladies and gentlemen, a man that's near and dear to my heart, calling in, special occasion for episode 300 of the Wrestle Talk podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, the People's Prince, Leo D. Leo, you're live, baby. What's up?
How you doing, Renee? Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Me and Joe are very excited, Leo. Thank you for making time to call in, bro. I really appreciate it.
No, not a problem, man. I wouldn't miss this. But also I wanted to give PCO a quick shout-out and just say thank you for all the contributions to the business. And you probably don't remember this, but I had the opportunity to share a locker room with you down in Cape Championship Wrestling. And I was real humbled by it, and I appreciate it. And thank you again for everything that you've done. And Joe and Renee, thank you for you guys sharing the love.
Well, where was that? Where did you share that dressing room, you said, Leo?
Cape Championship Wrestling, Cape Girardeau, Missouri. It was probably around 2 years ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was my big run in 2018. I was doing a lot of promotion, so yeah, I had a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
This is so great. Well, listen, Leo, I want to say something to you personally, man. You know, anybody who's a part of the show today has played a big part in my career, has played a big part in you know, Wrestle Talk or the Fantasy Wrestling Group. You have played a big part in 2 out of those 3. I want to thank you, bro, and I've been praying for you since the day that you no longer could compete, that one day you could continue to pursue your dream, because you are a dream chaser. So just know everybody in the Wrestle Talk family is praying to hopefully one day see Leo D back in the ring. But if that never happens, we just want you to be happy and healthy, man. Thank you for calling in and showing us some love, bro.
I appreciate you, and I love always, man.
All right. Thank you, Leo. Blessings.
Hey, thanks, Leo. Thank you so much.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. I got another one for you real quick, PCO. This young man actually does have a question for you. I'm very excited. I got one more, and then I'll throw it back to Joe. This guy is also an individual who puts his money where his mouth is, because he is not only one of the few that's going to get a chance to talk to PCO tonight, he's also owner of the newest sponsor of the Wrestle Talk podcast with Joe and Renee, I-70 Sports Media. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Jeremy Karp. Jeremy, you're live with PCO and the Wrestle Talk podcast for episode 300, bro. What's on your mind tonight?
Hey guys, oh man, this is quite something. First off, PCO, I want to say to you, brother, it's been an honor following your career for a long time, and thank you for approximately 30 years and counting for your dedication in the business. It means so much to me. My friends who have literally grown up with professional wrestling in their blood, it means so much. So to that, my friend, I say thank you.
Wow. I'm really touched by your comment, Jeremy. It's a pleasure, actually. If I can give like fun and excitement and you guys, you know, I feel like I've done my share, my part. You know, I'm working hard to entertain you as much as I can and put my body on the line and try to max out the performances that I have to be out there and to be in front of you guys, and it's so cool to hear like something like that. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
It's truly my pleasure.
I'm just doing what I'm so passionate about it. That's why it doesn't force me. I don't have to push myself. It's a true passion. I was born to do that, and I love every second of it. And to hear good feedbacks like that, very, very
big time fans.
Very cool. Really appreciate it. Thank
Big time fans. Well, Jeremy,
It's
I don't know if you had a
man. Absolutely.
Jeremy, I don't know if you had a question for PCO. I didn't know if you had a question. I just want to say thank you for believing in the Wrestle.
You go ahead, buddy.
No.
I
Listen.
to say that phrase to him, so it's all you.
No. Well, listen. Before you go, I want to say this. Thank you for believing in the brand. Thank you for investing in Wrestle Talk. We're going to continue to bust our ass to bring everybody the best interviews in the world of professional wrestling, from independent to middle of the road to the very top of the game, like Ring of Honor and PCO, who's a WWF legend as well, in my opinion. So, Jeremy, thank you so much for believing in us, man. We're going to talk to you down the road and get a little bit more information on I-70 Sports Media and the sponsorship, all right? You take it easy.
All right, man. You too. Congrats on 300. Happy birthday, Fury. Peace and love to all of you.
Adios, amigo. Jeremy Karp, ladies and gentlemen. Man, you got a lot of fans, PCO. Is that humbling or what?
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, it is very much something. I really enjoy that.
Very humbling indeed. Well, you know what, Jonesy? I got one more individual that wants to talk to PCO. This guy happens to be in the studio with me. He's my pro wrestling godfather. Took me to my first independent wrestling show ever. Sonny, you're live with PCO. I know you've been a fan of this man for probably over 20 years. Okay? So say your piece, ask a question, and then, and then give us the rub.
Real quick before I jump on with PCO, Joe Lance, Renee Martinez, congratulations. 300th episode of Wrestle Talk Podcast. High, lows, middles. I've been there with you guys every single week through the battle here, and I'm so proud of both of you fellas. PCO, sir, I cannot explain to you how much of a fan I am of yours. I grew up as a kid on the East Coast. I'm from Philadelphia. I got to see WWF come through in the mid-90s a lot. My father took me a lot. And I followed your career all the way from the early TNA days to Independence to what you're doing in Ring of Honor now. And I just cannot express how much of a huge fan I am of yours. My question for you tonight, PCO, you had a singles run. You had a feud with one of my favorite wrestlers ever, and I think regarded in the business as somebody who was one of the best ever, and that was Bret the Hitman Hart. And I just want to, get a little story maybe, or your thoughts on your feud and what it was like in working with the Hitman there in the mid-90s during the new generation in the WWF.
Great question.
Yeah, it was, no, it was like, for me, it was like a dream come true. I remember watching Bret as a kid, on TV, as I was starting wrestling school and things like that. He was already having like some great matches with Neidhart against the British Bulldogs, classic matches. And then I saw him, when he became an Intercontinental champion and then a world champion. And, I always had those goals growing up, and then when I became World Tag Team Champions and had the chance to wrestle them against Brother Owen and himself, and then getting the chance to feud against him, I felt like it was awesome because I've learned so much, and I became so close to Bret at the time. We met a few times after our feud, but during the feud, it was really, really cool. We had a lot of fun, and we shared the great times and moments together. I was invited at his house a few times, and when he was the owner of the Calgary Hitmen, a junior hockey club down in Calgary, and I remember Cleo Fleury and Joe Sakic and a bunch of his partners and hockey players, because I'm a big fan of hockey too, and being there at and sharing the ring with him and having great matches with him. It was just, I've learned so much, and I agree with you. One of the best ever in the business, the Hitman. Awesome.
And I absolutely agree with that. I've heard, I'm a big fan of shoot interviews, and I've heard nothing but good things about Bret Hart and how he is in the ring and out of the ring, regardless of what promotion he's with. And as far as I'm concerned, as a true fan of wrestling, PCO, I think you should be included in that conversation.
I agree.
You've been in this business for generations, and what you're still doing now at this day and age, you're keeping fans like myself and Renee and Joe.
Us old guys.
Us old guys. You're keeping us old guys still entertained to this day, and I can't thank you enough. I'm going to bow out here. Renee, thank you so much for letting me jump in here.
And we got a little break performance coming from who? Vinsanity, man. So y'all stay tuned for that. Thanks, Sonny.
Guys, 300th episode. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of this. Thank you again, PCO.
Love it. Well, Jonesy, we got a lot of fired up fans with PCO. I know his time is very limited, so why don't you jump in with any final thoughts or questions for one of the most legendary people we've ever talked to, PCO, man. What an absolute honor. Go ahead and take it away, Joe.
I do. I'm going to go ahead and kick it off with some ROH questions. You came to ROH in 2000 and 2018, you joined up with Marty Skill and Brody King, forming Villain Enterprises, and since then you have became, tag team champions. You became 6-man World Tag Team champions on the same night. What was it like winning both those, being a double champion in Ring of Honor?
It was like as good as it was when I won the WWF Tag Team Championships. The titles. I mean, I was very happy because I know I had worked, busted my ass pretty hard, to get there. And to get the reward, it's always cool that that you haven't done all that you've done, and to just strike in the dust. You actually you see it in a form of a prize in front of your eyes. So becoming the tag team champions of the 6-man tag in the same night, that was a big feat of strength, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And I was really proud of that. Very, very proud. And I felt our chemistry, me and Brody King had great chemistry as a tag team, and also felt like the Villain Enterprises chemistry was was great. It is great. We all get along together. We all travel together. We all shares, traveling and stories and a bunch of souvenirs together. So it's strengthened the relationships between the members of Villain Enterprises.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Villain Enterprises is absolutely awesome. And my final question is, you did something for the first time, not at the beginning of your career, but as you in Ring of Honor. And one of the things that you did was you actually won the World Heavyweight Championship for the first time. What was it like winning that championship for the first time?
Well, when you look at the lineage of the world champions that Ring of Honor has offered over the past years, if you look at any other rosters in the world right now, whether it's AEW or WWE, probably half of their top guys coming from ROH or was the ROH world champion at one point or at one time, mm-hmm. and being part of that history. That is something very special, very unique, and that's something that I wanted to have accomplished as a kid, being that 14-year-old kid that I'd written down on a piece of paper that I'll become a world heavyweight champion with a major federation, and to go down in history, the Ring of Honor world heavyweight champion. It's something very rewarding and something that I'm very proud that I've accomplished that. Like through thick and thin, I kept my eyes on the prize, on the goal, and I kept focusing on that. And even if sometimes it looked like I was totally out of the road and that I was in the field by 100 miles, I came back on the road, and I came back and I won that title, and it means the world to me, as far as accomplishing myself as an individual, not just as an athlete but as a person. I had to grow a lot on different personal levels as a person to become what I became, and to become not human, so to speak, to become mm-hmm. over that, to overcome the humanity, and to go to all those setbacks and failures, and just to be able to cope with all that. And it's so rewarding when you finally accomplish your all-time goal. So it's very, very special. And the whole year was like, winning the Crockett Cup, winning the NWA Tag Team Champions as well. It was such a prosperous year for PCO. So really looking forward to 2020, the rest of it, what we're going to have left. I think it's going to be very, we're going to be very active on the back end. We're going to do a lot of stuff where we're going to surprise a lot of people. We're going to be very proactive. And I think the back end of 2020 and 2021 it's got a lot in store for PCO. So very, very exciting about the future.
Awesome. Vinay, why don't you come in here with a bit of a question? Last question that you have, or final thought?
Well, listen, and we've already gotten a little bit over on time, and hopefully this doesn't get us in trouble with the fine folks over at Ring of Honor, but I know they'll appreciate this. PCO, you and I, it's just mano a mano. Back in 2018, people were claiming Ring of Honor is done. Adam Cole is gone. Punishment Martinez is gone. All the guys that they said could not be replaced were gone. And then came along guys like PCO, Jay Lethal, the Briscoe brothers, Flip Gordon, and I can keep going down the list. And let the Wrestle Talk podcast be the first to tell you, if you haven't heard this already, Ring of Honor is not only not dead, Ring of Honor, in my opinion, has some of the most entertaining wrestling in the world right now. So you just wait until the action kicks back off. Because if you're not watching Ring of Honor, you're making a huge mistake. Let's not forget where your favorite wrestlers that wrestle Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, let's not forget where they all came from, the Donovan Dijaks of the world. Okay? So, PCO, I'm going to let you go with this last thing. Please tell the people the number one reason you feel that they should tune in to you and Ring of Honor.
It's simply the best wrestling on the planet. Simply the best wrestling on the planet. And I can tell you, every week we got a Zoom meeting with about 45, 60 people, the whole roster, full executives. We're putting plans together. We're at work. We're nonstop thinking and working and processing, what's going on right now. We want to do things in a safe way. We don't put anybody in harm. And health is really important for Ring of Honor. But I can tell you that the plans coming up, on the other side of this thing, when we go through it with that crisis, people are in for a huge, huge surprise as far as what Ring of Honor will deliver with all the talents that we've got, with all the characters that we got, and then everything that's coming, towards. Because the Ring of Honor has been investing a lot of money for 2020, and we couldn't use all the investments and all the changes that we went through, because of the crisis. But once we're on the other side of that, people will see how crazy and how good and why it's Ring of Honor is that best wrestling on the planet.
Love to hear that. Well, sir, allow me.
And on the same token, I wanna congratulate you, Joe, and Renee on the episode 300, and to be part of it. I mean, it means a lot. It means a lot to me, and I wish you guys even more success, and to bring this up to the next level. I can tell how passionate you are about this business, about the wrestling, about sports entertainment, and when we do have a conversation, and we don't really never had like a conversations before, and we all get along like that, and we all have share that passion for what we love. success is guaranteed, and that's proven right here tonight with episode 300 with you guys. Thanks a lot so much. Means a lot to me.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you, sir. That is absolutely amazing. You have a good night, PCO.
And welcome as the newest member of the... Hey, PCO, welcome as the newest member of the Wrestle Talk family, by the way. You are now officially part of our familia, sir. Thank you very, very much. You be safe out there.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Adios.
Thanks. Take care.
Wow. Jonesy. Woo! Former Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion PCO. Can I get a whoop whoop? Where's my whoop whoop at, bro? There it is. There it is. Jonesy, we got a live performance for the intermission of the Wrestle Talk family. We're going to do Heaven's Demons. Don't play the wrong song, Timmy. I will choke your bitch out. No, PCO, Tim Miller, all the callers so far. What an incredible, incredible experience it has been. And guess what? We ain't even close to being done. So we're going to hit that Heaven's Demons courtesy of our boy Vinsanity, who's got huge news. As soon as the song's over, stay locked in. He's got huge news about his upcoming album, which was supposed to drop June 6th. Intern Timmy, you know what to do, baby. Let me clear the stage and let my man come on so he can crush it. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Vinsanity. Turn it up, Timmy!
Yeah. All right. Hey, baby. Baby, I'm gonna hit a stride. Hitting numbers like some dice. I hit it like I'm actually looking high. That pussy be on point, so I'm precise. You help me find my way about a maze. You be shining like the moon in sun rays. You make me wanna pray in church on Sunday. We count this money up and call it foreplay. We gon' take the world and make it spin. Every day we fall in love again. I could be Clyde, you could be Bonnie. You got that bomb, bro, you can buy me. You drive me crazy, keep it cruising. When I hear your voice, it's like music. If I play games with you, I lose it. If I lost you, that'd be stupid. Yeah. Baby, I'm gonna get you right. Baby, I'm gonna get you right now. Baby, I'm gonna get you right. Baby, I'm gonna get you right now. Baby, I'm gonna get you right. Baby, I'm gonna get you right now. Baby, I'm gonna get you right. Baby, I'm gonna get you right now. Baby, you the type I like. Come here, let me take a bite. Take a bite. I got you turning overnight. It's hard to trust because my shoulders high. I saw the future, you was in my side. I'm a monster, girl, you brought me to life. Sugar, sugar, how'd you get so fly? All these other kids, they give me no high. I used to be a dog, now you got me on a chain. I would run away, but that got me saying. I used to have some flaws, but now I'm off the chain. I feel like something's wrong, I can't get you up off my brain. Shawty on the wall, shawty off the top. You told me that you looking in a crystal ball. Baby, you can live your life. I just wanna be here somehow. Baby, I'm gonna get you right. Baby, I'm gonna get you right now. Baby, I'm gonna get you right. Baby, I'm gonna get you right now. Baby, I'm gonna get you right. Baby, I'm gonna get you right
now.
Baby, I'm gonna get you right. Baby, I'm gonna get you right now. Baby, I'm gonna get you right.
Hey, hey.
Baby, I'm gonna get you right now. Baby, I'm gonna get you right. Baby, I'm gonna get you right now.
I'ma get you
Baby, I'm gonna get you
right.
right.
Get you right.
Baby,
I'ma get you right now.
Baby, I'm gonna get you right.
I thought it was hit you.
Baby, I'm gonna get you right.
Timmy version and hit you.
Oh, there's your boy. There's your boy.
Nightmare Jones. What up, Wrestle Talk fam?
See if I can remember it.
Do it for y'all. Check me out.
Kick in the door, waving the 4-4.
Even them
Haters can't hate us no more.
Unlock
Your door, cause we back for more.
Every Wednesday we here.
Kicking it raw.
Night
out, Nightmare Jones and all the best guests.
Like a double barrel
Pointed right at your chest. Wrestle, talk, podcast.com. Smashing and killing like the night of the prom. Yeah, baby, let's go. Hey, listen, Jonesy, I know you with me. Thank you, everybody who's here. We're having a great time. Vinsanity, thank you, brother. You are a legit brother to me, man. I know you wanted to break some news. You wanted to do it on a big platform. Shout out to our KCXW family, all our wrestling, Kansas wrestling family, Missouri wrestling family. Vinsanity, I know you wanted to say something, bro. Music and wrestling are your passions, bro. Go ahead and talk to the people, man.
First and foremost, I gotta say congrats to my guys.
Hey! You hear that, Joe?
Fucking love these guys to death. And I want to say congrats on episode 300. I'm more than appreciative to be here from all the times that I've watched it, etc., etc.
How's the studio, bro? It's hot in here, ain't it?
It's hot.
It's hot.
It's hot. Due to some circumstances, there's a bunch of us here.
Yeah, dude. There's a gang of cats over there.
Gangs of us here, but the reason I'm here, bro, not only to show love.
All right.
But my album was supposed to drop on the 6th. But since we're here, since we're kicking it, since it's lit, I'm letting y'all know first. It's already dropped. It dropped today. So,
Vinsanity, name of the album?
The hottest in the city, time, and space. You can get on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music. You can get the hard copies, etc. Any music platform. Type in Vinsanity.
That's with a 5. Vinsanity with a 5 instead of an S.
And you can get that mug.
Because he's 5,000% real. And he screwed that girl, man.
Oh, yeah. Check out our podcast, too. It's not, our podcast is definitely not as popping as this one, but check us out.
Well, we had a long, no, we've been doing this for 300 episodes. Y'all got, I mean, we've just been around longer. That's all.
A lot of catching.
Shout out to Jess, shout out to Susie.
Yeah, shout out everybody.
Hey, Mr. Casey. Mr. Casey, check me out. I was just calling your championship match against the Marksmen at Comic-Con 2017. I just did the audio for it today because we didn't get a chance to record commentary. So, kcwrestlenet.com. Shout out to Jordan Smiley and the boys over there. Guys, get that service, 7 days free. You can see your boy. Then I don't know if some of your stuff from way back in the day is going to be on there, but y'all check it out. That's kcwrestlenet.com for more information on that, man. It's been a great one. But Vinny, bro, thank you so much for coming through. Actually, I'm going to have you back in a few minutes right after we talk to the originator, the creator, the head administrator, as we talk to our fam from the FWWC. And then also, you know who's on the line? Chad Dazzle, bro. We're going to get him on. So thank you for being here, bro. Boom, baby.
All right, y'all, right on.
Keep it riding. Yeah. All right, guys. We're back with it. Jonesy, why don't you check with intern Timmy? We're going to mix in a little FWWC business with the Wrestle Talk Podcast, episode 300. I know that there's a young man. And listen, I got a special surprise for you guys, by the way. We actually have... Wow. Okay, we got Herb Simmons on the line. So we're going to definitely have to make time for him. And then I know Derek Stone is going to be joining us about 35 after. So hang in there. Father Craven's also on the line. We got Mike on the line. I need a last name on Mike. What Mike are we talking about here? Because that Voorhees, I'm not really sure. But anyway, before we get to that, I want to bring on a guy who I've been very, very lucky to be calling his matches from the beginning of his career. We've taken car rides together. I remember my man came through one day. He was real downtrodden and stuff like that. And by the way, I have a special in-studio guest that's going to be joining me here in about 2 minutes. But this guy was downtrodden. We got in the car together. We got to vibe. We got to talking, wrestling, life, music, all this. And by the time we made it to the show, he was well and he was happy. But then I left his ass at the show and went to the bar. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. For the first time ever, the one and only, one half of the Dazzle party, that is, Chad Dazzle. What up, Poppy?
Yeah. Yo, what is up, my man?
What up, Shun?
First and foremost, am I allowed to cuss on this show?
Yes, you are. At your own discretion. That's a yes, Chad. Chad? Chad! All right, let's figure out what's up with Chad's audio, because he said, am I allowed to cuss? And then he just went radio silent. I'm confused. All right, let's try that one more time. Chad Dazzle, are you still with us, Chad? Chad Dazzle. Oh, Chad Dazzle. I was so excited to talk to Chad Dazzle. Chad Dazzle, hang up, call back in. We're going to get you on, okay? I have to talk to you tonight because you're one of the young homies, bro, and I got so much respect for you, and the fact that you've been on hold now for like 30 minutes just to jump on the show and say what's up, I got to give you love, bro. So hang up, call back in, and let's make this thing happen. All right, that said, ladies and gentlemen, I would be remiss if I didn't bring this man on the show because he's been waiting for a long, long time, and you don't leave a man that's been a part of the professional wrestling business for this many years on hold for too long, okay? You definitely don't want to do it because you're going to end up regretting it. Now I regret it. He was there and now he's gone too. My goodness, what is wrong? Enter, Timmy. This is not the day to tick me off. Nightmare Jones, I want you to reach out to Herb Simmons right now and you tell him we apologize for the long delay. I absolutely have to hear from Herb Simmons tonight. I was getting ready to go to him, and then all of a sudden I got cut off. This is not right. It's not fair. And what kind of episode 300 would it be if we didn't have Herb Simmons on the show? I mean, you want to talk about having the elite of the elite call into the biggest show of the year? Jonesy, can you please try to figure out what's up with Herb Simmons, man? Because now my feelings are hurt. I was getting ready to throw to the man, and now he's not there, bro. Can you figure that out for us? Okay. All right. Getting a message that Jonesy's working on it. Awesome. Guys, we'll have Herb Simmons back in just a couple of minutes because I definitely want to get an opportunity to speak with him. In the meantime, allow me to welcome in a man who's not only one of my best friends, but also a longtime business partner. I remember that at one time, I drugged this man out with me to an independent wrestling show, and we went in full get-up. It was about 97 degrees. This man had a suit on. I had a mask on. I don't know what the hell we were thinking. There's something wrong with us. Us people that originate from closer to the equator, I don't know what it is with us and heat. We just attract it. One other thing that this man is for sure going to attract is heat to the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion. Ladies and gentlemen, for episode 300, it's both an honor and a pleasure to welcome in the originator, creator, head administrator of the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion, the head admin, DeJuan Mill.
What's up,
we
man?
We did it.
Drug me to a show.
I know.
Drug me.
Yes. You're like, hey, bro. You're like, hey, I don't know if I got babysitting settled out. You're like, oh, man, I went out last weekend. I don't know if the missus is going to let me go.
I think I only had 2 kids back then.
Okay,
dude.
yeah. Now,
That's how long ago it was.
Yeah, bro. Well, you still ain't as bad as Mayhem.
I know, right?
Bro,
what's up?
Bro, 300. 300. Can I get a whoop whoop? Can I get a whoop whoop? Can I get a whoop whoop?
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yo, what's up, Insanity, bro? What you doing? You talking to some girl, man? I can't get a whoop whoop? Whoop whoop. There it is.
What's up, man?
All right, well, listen, bro. We have so many awesome people. Enter Timmy. Let me know who's on hold, bro, because this is a big one. We got 3 people unidentified on hold right now. We got to make sure we know who they are. But, DeJuan, man, let me say this first and foremost. You can leave it open, bro. It gets real hot in here. All right, so here's the thing. You have played a big part in the Wrestle Talk podcast, not because you're on the show every week, but because you and I have this amazing partnership. And that partnership involves the Wrestle Talk podcast and the Fantasy Wrestling Worldwide chapter. Now, for those who don't know, and you don't have to go into the regular spiel as normal, because I know once you kick it on, you just go.
I just keep going and going and going.
Here's really what I want to know. So, when you created the group, was it because you were dissatisfied with your pro wrestling experience as a spectator? You're like, man, I've been watching wrestling since I was this tall. Now I'm this tall. It's kind of getting a little played out. What can I do to accentuate the experience? Or was it you're like, hey, I want to add to this experience that I'm still in love with? Because everybody who's anybody in their pro wrestling fandom gets to a point where it's kind of like, I've seen it, I've done it, it's not really impressing me anymore. And then either they go away, like I did back after the Stone Cold era, and then come back many, many years later, or some people just ride with it and figure out a new way to enjoy it. So I know that's a lot of words for a simple question. What was it that originally triggered you to want to do something outside or on top of just watch the wrestling on TV?
I mean, I wanted to make a better experience, man, add to the experience. I mean, wrestling, we should have our own fraternity. I mean, we're a unique set of people. We need a
union, damn it.
We need a union or something like that. You know, so I just want to add to that experience, man. I mean, the football guys do it. The baseball guys do it.
Sure.
The hockey guys do it. They got all their fantasy stuff. How come wrestling fans can't have their own fantasy deal? See what I'm saying? Equality in this world, baby. So I did that, man. And 9 years later, bro. 9 years later, since 2011, we're still here.
Okay, allow me to say something bold, and I'm going to have Jonesy come on as well. So let's talk about what everybody's talking about. Okay. And you know this is a tough one, and you know your boy. I don't know. Okay, so here's what I want to say. I'm Mexican.
Okay.
I'm not American with Mexican roots. I'm Mexican, and I'm now a proud American. You are a African who lives in America and African American. Please tell these people out here, and I don't want you to make any earth-shattering type of statements if you don't want to, but bro, tell people out here to stop victimizing themselves. You see my brother right here? He grew up on 71st and 63rd. And this man has his own company. He's got a beautiful family, wonderful children. And we know that there's people out there that are targeting people like you and me.
That is true.
But we're not victims. We're free.
That is true.
And we determine when we're going to be victimized and if we're going to be victimized.
That is true.
You took your circumstances, single family home or single mother, right?
Yep.
Like that whole deal. Drugs, just like in my family. Yep. Maybe the same ones, maybe different ones. But somehow we found a way to persevere.
Right.
People like to use the odds that are against them as an excuse to not do shit.
Right.
We decided to use the odds that were against us as a reason to go out and create something, and create a platform that now we're 520 strong in the FWWC, and every single week, just on Facebook Live, ladies and gentlemen, we get 1,200 views just from Wednesday to Wednesday. That doesn't include Blog Talk, that doesn't include Apple, that doesn't include Google Podcasts, that doesn't include any of that. So you want to talk about a couple of guys who could have made every excuse in the world to not be successful. We decided, no, we're going to use that as fuel to be successful. Please speak on it to the people.
Yeah, man, mindset, dude. Like I said, I come from an entrepreneurial mindset. You know, I've been in the workforce we used to work together. Yeah, we used to work together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, you know, I always wanted something more. But given to the current situation right now, man, it's not about us, okay? I'm a family of 3 kids, wife. You know, we're building a foundation for the future. You know, I'm 35 right now. You're what, 40 something?
What are you talking about? I turned 36.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah, that's right. On the 15th.
It's coming up. It's coming up, old man. But honestly, man, you know, the older I get, the more I realize that not only history is repeating itself, nothing's actually changed. But what does have to change is our mindset. Don't be a victim. Don't play into what everything's going on, man. You know, be your own self. Look at your children in the eye. Look at the people that care about you and I and say, hey, you know what? Something's got to be different. Something's got to change, and I'm going to be that change. I'm not going to go out here and do what everybody else is doing. In my household, we're a household of respect. We're a household of honor, and we're going to uphold the right law. Man.
We're going to, absolutely. So don't use your circumstances as an excuse. Don't play victim, because you got a couple of guys right here that basically started from the bottom, and now we own Royal Mills Transportation.
Yes, sir.
By the way, I'll be waiting for that 20. I'm waiting for that to. Hey, Royal Mills Transportation,
RMT, baby.
Wrestle Talk Podcast,
Yes, sir.
FWWC. It takes a dream, hard work, and you know why people, and a vision,
Big-ass
absolutely, and somebody who's willing to share that vision with you,
else.
right? So that said, Jonesy, let me have you jump in here, bro, because it is episode 300, dude.
300.
And you know what, man? Here's the biggest thing for me. Like, I know that this show was already good before I became a part of it, before Dewan became a part of it. But Jonesy, when the FWWC came on board, I know it really changed the game. If you can hear me, brother, can you speak on that right now? Because I know that you played the biggest part in bringing Dewan and I into the Wrestle Talk family, bro. Can you speak on that, please?
Thank you.
I don't know. Where's our Joe? Do we not have Jonesy on the line? What's going on here? I don't know. Looks like we got a little bit of a connection issue. We're going to get hooked back up with Jonesy real quick, guys.
Yeah, it's episode 300. Stuff like this happens.
Yeah, you know what?
It only happens on episode 300.
Bro, the lights went out on us earlier.
What?
Yeah.
It only happens on, it won't happen on 301 and 302. Only 300 when everything's on the line. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. See what we got.
Guys on that 300 because you guys are killing it.
Susan,
we tried to.
Hey.
Unmuted.
And you know, the Wrestle Talk podcast is the best. And Hardcore Sis loves it.
Love you too, girl.
Hey, we love you too, sis. We back, baby. We back. Well, listen. All right, so wait, this is crazy. So now there will be two versions of the last, 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. There'll be the version that's on Blog Talk, and then there'll be the Facebook Live version.
Hey.
That's crazy.
Only for 300. Man.
Only for 300.
Remember that one time on episode 300?
Yeah, I remember that one time. Well, listen, Dewan, I want you to stay.
Hey, we've been having our own show.
Yes, you have, and I want to go back and listen to it. I'm sure it was fantastic.
Yeah. Right, amazing.
No wonder I couldn't hear anybody. I kept trying to throw to callers, and it wouldn't work. What a day to have technical issues. My goodness. My goodness. Well, listen.
Hey, but you know what? It just
go ahead.
You guys are going through it and showing why you're the best and why you've been around for 300 episodes because you deal with it and you roll with it.
Yeah, love to hear that. I love to hear that. Well, listen, Susie, we got Dewan here, and I want to jump to Herb Simmons here in just a second. We have Mike Sipkus on the line. We got Chad Dazzle on the line. We got two callers that are unidentified on the line, and we're going to get through everybody tonight. As we prepare to bring on Derek Stone, who may be on hold. But, Dewan, bear with me because I want to get back to you and Susie. But we have to bring in this gentleman because when you talk about legends in the professional wrestling world, especially in the Midwest, there's going to be a list there, okay? There's going to be Harley Race that's going to be on there. There's going to be Cowboy Bob Orton that's going to be on there. And then one of those names in that list is going to be Herb Simmons. And the fact that he made himself available tonight to join us on the show is something spectacular. Herb, thank you for joining us tonight. What an honor and a pleasure as always it is to have you on. Thank you for being here. What are your thoughts tonight?
Well, there's only one person that would have stopped me from being on here tonight, and I give thanks to him every day. And, 300 episodes is a milestone for you guys. And I got up this morning and set the clock and said I got a call because this is a monumental time for these guys. 300 episodes. I mean, that's just great. You guys are, as a young lady said, and I've enjoyed listening to your other guests you've had on tonight. And like I said, the younger generation is going to live on a lot longer than I will. And I take my hat off to each and every one of you guys and the men and women who are out there busting their asses each and every night when we get over this dang virus. Mm-hmm. But I know it's everybody's chomping at the bit to get back into it, and I'm just really honored that you asked me to be a part of your 300 episode.
Well, why wouldn't we, Herb? As I have Michael Pettis from New Breed Wrestling and also Derek Stone waiting to come on. I mean, what could be more exciting than that? I was wondering, Herb, and you can cut me off if you want to. You know, you're like a father figure, big brother figure to me. So if you want to cut me off, I understand. But you shared something with me a couple of days ago via Messenger that I think the world needs to hear. And you, sir, are preserving true pro wrestling history. And somebody has entrusted you with a great responsibility to do that. Are you okay with sharing what it is that you have and where you got it from that you're going to be preserving, hopefully, forever? Such a huge deal. Are you willing to share that with us tonight?
Oh yeah, it's news that I think is worth sharing. And as I was coming back from the trip the other night, I told you, thanks to my friend Larry Matisek and Sam Muchnick years ago, I've got all of the St. Louis footage, not only the footage that Larry and I reproduced on the 12 episodes of the St. Louis Wrestling Classics, but I've got all the other extra footage that we called our B-roll from that. But since then, in the last 72 hours, I acquired the library of the late, great Dick DeBruiser from his widow, Mrs. Aplis. And I was able to strike up a mutual agreement with her to help preserve the memories of, Dick DeBruiser today. If you asked a lot of us who the most dangerous wrestler in the world was, people's going to say Dick DeBruiser in the St. Louis area. So, I've got all of the TV tapes and films, and we've got them all tucked away in the vault now. And we're working on a plan, maybe a TV show to keep his legacy alive.
Absolutely amazing. And I have one last question for you, Herb, before I throw it to Joe. I saw a video, and I actually shared it in our wrestling group. El Diablo will know what I'm talking about. It was a match back in 1980 between Dick the Bruiser and Bruiser Brody. And that match ended in a double countout. Herb, you're known for a lot of different things, but one of the things that you're known the most for is your ability to tell a story. If you had the pen and the notepad in front of you and you had an opportunity to book that match, how would it play out between Dick the Bruiser and Bruiser Brody?
Well, I was fortunate enough to see them in a real fight in Peoria, Illinois, in a locker room. And I can tell you, Dick the Bruiser ended up on the floor, and it was over, of course, a money transaction, and Brody walked out the door. Even though Bruiser was tough, my money was always on Frank Goodish, a.k.a. King Kong Bruiser Brody, or Bruiser Brody, whatever you wanted to call him. I called him a friend. And but no, it was a match. In fact, I saw them tangle against one another in Indianapolis at the Armory twice. And after that, our occasion in Peoria, they got their money situation straightened out, and they became not friends, but they became associates.
Wow, man. So cool. Well, where else are you going to hear stories like that if it's not from the legendary Herb Simmons? Well, Herb, thank you so much, sir, for being here. I cannot wait to make my way back down to Southern Illinois, East Carondelet, Southern Illinois Championship Wrestling. One of my favorite trips to make. Every year or two, I try to make my way down there, and I cannot wait to have the opportunity to do it again. What an honor to have you call into the show tonight, sir. Any final thoughts before you go?
Just congratulations again, and please let's everybody keep safe. And we're living in trying times now, not only with this COVID, but with the protest and the civil unrest. I don't care what color you are, what nationality you are. We all have pain. We all cry. We all bleed red, and we're all in this together. So let's get it all over with, and let's get back to some good old wrestling.
All right, Joe, any final thoughts for her before we let him go?
Amen.
Amen.
Just thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to call in, sir. You are absolutely amazing. Thank you, Herb. Now, I promised that I would get this person back on because he did end up, his phone ended up dropping, so let's go and bring Tank in for what final thoughts that he has. Tank, the floor is yours for your final thoughts.
We missed a whole 10 minutes of the show.
Night out. Jonesy, can you all hear me this time?
We can hear you.
Well, here's the question. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
because apparently nobody could hear us for like 10 minutes.
I broke the show.
Episode 300. Way to go, Dewan.
Right, I broke the
Way
show.
to go, man.
I'm sorry. Only on episode 300.
Hey, Tank, welcome back, bro. Go ahead and hit us with your closing thoughts.
Nah, like I said, you know, like you said earlier, congratulations on your own 300th episode. But you know what? I was just going to say, this year, during the FWWC Year 3 Brain Battle, the three teams that the GMs have made, I am enjoying this. But I'm going to tell you this. Hardcore Sis and Heel Deal. The Infinite brand, we're the Forever brand, and we are going to always be a step ahead of you all.
Whoa, bringing the heat up. Brrrah, brrrah. Dig it. Yo, I love that. Thank you for coming back on with us, Tank. This is so crazy that we got like 2 versions of the show now. Well, you know what? We're going to jump from that to a guy that we've been trying to get on. And, Mike, I see you, bro. I have not forgotten about you. We're going to jump on to New Breed. And then right after that, we're going to talk a little bit of Midwest Elite Wrestling. But there's a young guy that I introduced a little bit earlier. I'm guessing that was right around the time that my connection cut off. Now, back on the show, a guy who I've ridden in the car with. He showed up, got into my truck, had a bad day. By the time we got there, he was great. Had a great match, and then I forgot him because I left to the bar accidentally. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. A very dear friend of mine, the one and only Chad Dazzle. Chad, can you hear me, bro?
Yes, actually I can this time.
Dude, I'm so sorry. My connection was all wonky, dude. I'm sorry.
You're good, man. I want to say 2 things before I get into it. One, fuck you for leaving me at the venue that night, but you know we're fine.
Ah, wow! Wait a minute! I think we got a drop for that. Wait a minute! There it is.
Got him! Got him!
The heat is real.
I did. It's hot in here. It's hot.
The heat.
Hey, Chad, listen. We had Tim Miller a little bit earlier, and we got his comments on, the legendary Derek Stone. I know you had an opportunity to be on cards with this man as well. Can you talk to us a little bit about his legacy, what he's meant to you? Was he your trainer at any point, or are you just an admirer from a distance? Because he's going to be joining us here in just a matter of moments, man. So I want to make sure you have an opportunity to say some nice things about Derek before he chokes us all out.
Of course, yeah. Well, first of all, yes, I have trained with Derek, and he has given me a lot of very, very, very good advice that I have taken. But actually, even before I started wrestling, I went to the NWL Performance Center, and Derek was one of the first people in the business that I met. And he, gave me a tour of the facility, and he gave me 4 free tickets, said, hey, come check out the show. And I've told him before, but it did mean so much to me at that time. And then being able to work with him and be on shows with him, listen to him, ask him for advice. It really has just been a blessing. He truly is a legend in the Midwest and wrestling in general. And I have nothing but the utmost respect for him.
Awesome, bro. Well, here's my other question, and I'm going to give you a few minutes to put us over, because that's what you're here for, goddammit. I don't care what you think. All right? Here's here's the other thing I want to ask you, bro. So, we talk to a lot of legends on this show because, we're old guys. But me, I stay in touch with the newer generation when it comes to music, entertainment, and all that sort of thing. So to the OGs that are concerned about your guys' love and dedication to the sport, what message would you send to the OGs of the sport to reassure them that the sport moving into 2020 and beyond is in good hands? What kind of words of encouragement could you give to those guys who laid the groundwork for you, Chad?
So yeah, I have a few good things. Obviously, any veteran that tells me any advice or gives me any pointers to do something a certain way, I will absolutely listen to them. But then there are those old timers who kind of just hate all of new wrestling. I just want to say, with that being said, it's 2020 and wrestling has changed.
Oh my gosh, bro. This is what Blog does to us all the time. It drives me freaking nuts.
Love Talk.
For no reason, really.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please hold and you will be able to listen to the show.
It's going to be important, but there are aspects of it, like the showmanship of it with like stunts and like, you know, whatever, this and that, that do matter nowadays, and people will watch that more than they'll watch an old school 80s match happening in 2020. So it's a catch-22 because you always want to stick to the traditional values, and you can listen to those old the vets and let them, you know, teach you what you need to do. But you also have to listen to the newer guys and say, okay, I've done this. This is what works. Do this. And you kind of have to mesh the two together, which I tried to do throughout my whole early career. But yeah, what was the second part of that question you asked me, Renee?
Well, just more or less like I wanted you to basically you covered it. Like what
Hello?
were? Hold on, are you with me, Chad? Okay, Chad, there you are.
I'm muted.
Sorry about that, buddy. I'm screening calls behind you here. So to answer your question, bro, I think you kind of hit on everything. What words of encouragement would you give to the generation before you to ensure them that wrestling is going to be in good hands? Because like I said, they're very nervous and they're very concerned that the future generation is not going to be able to carry on the traditions of the past. And just based on everything you just said, I think that they can rest assured that wrestling is in very, very good shape moving forward, man. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Now, before you go, bro, you and I are friends. I care about you a ton, man. Thank you for supporting us on the Wrestle Talk podcast. We got a big podcast based out of Kansas City right now, and I know it means a lot to the people in the pro wrestling community, man. So what are your thoughts on episode 300, bro? Are we doing a good job, or do we totally suck?
Oh, no, you guys fucking suck. You guys are awful. This is the worst podcast I've ever heard in my fucking life.
Son of a bitch!
No.
That's some bullshit. I'm dying over here.
Give me all
That's messed up, bro.
I'm so proud of you, man, for getting to 300 episodes. I'm glad to have known you for at least 100. I've only known you for a couple years here, so I wasn't there at the beginning, but it's such an honor to not only be a part of the 300th broadcast, but to see you reach 300 episodes, because obviously I care so much about you, and I care so much about what you do for the wrestling community and what you provide. So thank you. And here's the 300 more episodes, huh?
Let's do it, baby. I like it. Let's go. Thank you very much, Chad Dazzle. You're back. Woo. Nightmare Jones is with us. What up, Jonesy? You all right over there, bro? You doing okay?
Yeah, my dang on computer just decided to shut off on me, so I've been in the panic mode, but I'm back, so I'm here.
All right, well, here's what I'm afraid of. We were supposed to have Derek Stone on a few minutes ago, and we're doing a terrible job of hitting our deadline as far as bringing on the guests. So let's go ahead and do that now. Stick with us, DeJuan. I want you to hang around here because we got some things we need to cover as well. But before we get to that, okay, I want you to hang out. We're going to get to Derek Stone. We got two other promoters that are going to come on here just very briefly and share their thoughts with us about wrestling in the Midwest, what Wrestle Talk means to wrestling in the Midwest. And let's hope that they have some nice things to say about us, because, you know, I make enemies sometimes. I've done that once or twice. I've gotten on the wrong side of the wrong people more than once.
It's life, bro.
But you know what, guys? I'm so happy to be able to have this gentleman come on the show. Anytime they have a show, he personally messages me, and he says, hey, Renee, you need to come down and visit us at New Breed Wrestling. We got some wonderful stuff going on. Bro, I've seen Ricky Morton in the house. I've seen Bobby Eaton in the house. Dude, it's been a freaking blast every time I've been down there. So, ladies and gentlemen, the voice of New Breed Wrestling calling into the show tonight, the one and only Michael Pettis. Michael, man, thank you for making time. Welcome to the show tonight, bro.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys, and congratulations on 300 episodes of the Wrestle Talk podcast. It's not an easy feat to achieve, and look at you guys, you're here. That is amazing. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you so much, Michael, man. I really appreciate that. Well, bro, I know nobody's been hurting more during the pandemic than promoters such as you and Scott. I know it's been extremely difficult. Ben, do you have any news to share with us pertaining to New Breed Wrestling, when you guys might be thinking about coming back to putting shows on again?
Yeah, absolutely. So the promoter, Scott, and of course, you know, he's got me and a few others that are working with him as his right-hand men. And, you know, we've missed a few shows now. We had Eugene booked to come join us in Elbin here recently, and of course we wasn't able to have that. So unfortunately, we're going to work on getting him rebooked for a later date. We've looked at some other options, but looks like we're not going to be back until September in Sedalia, unfortunately. But the good news is, October 24th, Elbin, Missouri, we've actually booked the winner, Barry Horowitz. He'll be live in person in Elbin, Missouri.
Barry Horowitz, let's go. I like that one.
Chris Wyatt Memorial Show. And we'll be back in December in Elbin as well. Last year we did a big Toys for Tots fundraiser there. Had a really good turnout, and we're excited to get back into Elbin again for our December show. We actually had a cage match for the main event that night that was spectacular. So lots of good things going on with New Breed Wrestling behind the scenes. We've got a lot of surprises we're going to be able to unleash to our fans this fall when we come back. It's kind of a new look for New Breed Wrestling. A lot of things we're really excited about. I don't want to give anything away. I really just want to say, you know, when you guys come to the shows, you're going to see a whole nother level of professionalism from us and a whole nother level of presentation from us as well.
Wow, I'll tell you what, you guys got some loyal fans down there, Michael, and I'll say this, dude. You guys do such a tremendous job of blending old school with new school. You talk about Eugene, you talk about Ricky Morton, some of the guys, but then you're also mixing in Brene. You're mixing in Camaro Jackson. You're mixing in a lot of great young talent, man. Is there anyone in particular, do you think, that the fans of New Breed Wrestling need to keep an eye on once you guys get back to business in September?
Oh, there's a lot of guys. You know, we've got a lot of the old school guys that are still, you know, doing big things for us, like Superstar Steve and the Iceman and the Masked Magician and a lot of these guys that have been around since the Harley Race days. And, you know, we've got a great mix of new talent as well. Guys like Tyler Gray and Alpha Omega and Brene, as you mentioned. You know, a lot of people that are hungry and they're wanting to get out there and show themselves and show what they can do. And these guys are definitely ones to watch. Whenever you see a New Breed Wrestling show, you will know that whether it's a veteran or if it's a new guy, these guys are going to give you more than 100% every single time.
Well, we love to hear that. Jonesy, any thoughts from Michael of New Breed Wrestling before we let him go, bro, and we can move on to Dynamite Derek Stone? I know everybody's been waiting for this interview. We got to get it kicked off. I hope he's not losing his patience. I mean, this dude is a bodybuilder and an ass kicker start to finish. I've been watching him now for several years, and I definitely don't want to get on his wrong side. But do you have any final questions for Michael Pettis of New Breed Wrestling?
Oh, man, just thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on to the show. And one day, I will make my way down to see a New Breed Wrestling show. That's a promise.
We'd love to have
And a
you.
threat.
Love to have you. Yeah. Shout out to Derek Stone, good friend of mine. Shout out to Herb Simmons, great friend of New Breed Wrestling. Shout out to PCO. And shout out to you guys for 300 episodes. Keep it going, guys. Keep it hot. And we love hearing you every single week.
Thank you very much, dude. Awesome stop. Well, Michael, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Brother, I will see you at the very first show back. You have my word. The Wrestle Talk podcast will be in the building in September, man. You take it easy out there. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Another incredible promoter on the show. Hey, Dewan, I want to go ahead and give you an opportunity to get back to the party because we got a lot of people sitting in the living room hanging out and all that stuff. There's really a party going on right outside of this room. But before we let you go, bro, I want to let you break some news because I know that FWWC is your baby, okay? There was a poster contest, and there has been a winner declared. Now, I went ahead and got ahead of it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And
help me out.
No. I went ahead and got ahead of it a little bit, and had to make some modifications. But without question, the winner of the poster contest put in the amount of work necessary to make something that is worth everybody's while. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and announce to us the winners of the FWWC poster contest, which not only have bragging rights. Shout out to Kit Reaver, XWE's very own. Okay, not only have bragging rights, but they've also earned a point for their respective brand. why don't you go ahead and tell us who was the winner of the poster contest so that we can go ahead and show off the poster live right here on episode 300 of the Wrestle Talk podcast.
Well, ladies and gentlemen of the FWC, it is my distinct honor and pleasure to announce the winner of the poster contest. What brand is that? The new brand, the brand of Rise, baby. The Rise brand. Check that out.
Wow.
Whoa. And if nothing else had brand battle implications, you better damn well believe that is legit right there, baby.
And that is going to be the new cover poster
Yes, sir.
for the world's premier fantasy wrestling
Yes, sir.
promotion. Anybody who's watching on Facebook Live, boom, check that thing out. If not, don't worry about it. It'll be as the cover.
That's nice.
Yeah, that is very
That's
nice.
really
That'll
nice.
be the cover of our fantasy wrestling group on Facebook.
But that guy right there.
Which one?
Man, that guy
Guy
right
in the
there.
middle.
He's
No
in
one
the
likes
middle.
that guy.
No one
No one likes that
hell.
guy.
I'm
He doesn't even compete. Why is he
I'm
still
surprised
there?
there's not a clown on there.
I don't know.
What the hell?
I'm missing a clown.
Jesus.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the originator, the creator, the head administrator of the world's premier fantasy wrestling group, also my business partner and brother,
Hell yeah, man.
Dewan Mills.
Freaking Mills, baby.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much for being here, bro.
300. Woo!
All right. Hey, send
Yeah.
Sonny in here so we can talk to Derek Stone. I
Oh,
know
yeah.
he's going to want to
Oh,
talk
yeah.
to Derek Stone. Jonesy, the show continues, and my only concern is that we've pissed off Derek Stone. I hope that's not the case, okay? But we're going to go ahead and move on and talk to him, and we're going to squeeze in some callers in between. We've got MEW coming up. Also, Mike Sykes is going to be joining us. He's also a huge fan of Derek Stone. And then I believe we have Father Craven, who's also looking to come on. An ominous being who was a former guest of the show. Tell him to bring me a beer! No, not Father Craven. These guys out here, I need a beer. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and make some time for him as well. Jonesy, why don't you do me a favor and give a proper introduction to Midwest legend, Dynamite, Derek Stone.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, the gentleman we're going to bring on right now is no stranger to pro wrestling. He's wrestled for Metro Pro. He's wrestled matches for the WWE. He's wrestled for WLW. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to bring in the man, the myth, the legend, Derek Stone.
Black and blue, I crawled along the wreckage of what now is gone. Back to you to fight another day.
Mr.
Wow.
Stone, how's it going, sir?
That's great. That's a great intro. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh man, it is all pleasure. You know, Renee was messaging me. You know, he's threatening. He's like, man, we haven't got Derek on. You know, he's a bodybuilder. He's gonna show up at my house. He's gonna beat me up.
Nah. Listen, I'll add you to the list, but it'll take a while. There's a lot of people ahead of you.
Okay,
so,
sweet.
Don't worry about it. It's probably gonna take a few years.
Thank you so much, Derek.
Congratulations on your, oh, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Well, listen, all I want to say is this, and I'll let Joe lead it off. I just want to say thank you, dude. And I also, I don't usually start interviews with an apology, but I'm going to today because I feel like for 300 episodes, we've talked to so many amazing people, and if I started going down the list, it would sound like I'm bragging. But I claim to be a wrestling fan that is the biggest fan of Midwest wrestling of all, and the fact that we have not had a chance to talk to Derek Stone on the show is borderline criminal. It is criminal because at my second show ever, Derek Stone was the champion, and he came out with the poncho, and he just whooped ass.
Yep.
So the fact that we hadn't had a chance to bring you on before, Derek, I'm a little embarrassed by it, but at the same time, I'm equally excited that it's finally happening. So thank you so much for making time for myself, Nightmare Jones, and all the other members of the Wrestle Talk family, dude. I really appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. No problem. You know, and as far as, being late on the time, you're busy. You got a lot of folks saying hello to you. I certainly don't mind being on hold for Herb Simmons, although you might have to apologize to me a little bit more for making me listen to Chad Dazzle.
Oh my gosh. I knew the roast was coming. I was just waiting. for it. And you know how I feel right now?
Let's hear it.
You want to hear how I feel?
What do you guys feel?
honor for me to be on the show, man. Thank you so much for having me. And, 300 episodes is good. And you know what? Like 7 were actually listenable. So that's awesome.
Cool. Like 7 of the 300 were actually listenable. Yeah. We're good. That's a good percentage.
Oh, no, I gave you more credit than that. 70. How about
70. Oh,
okay.
Hey,
All right,
there you go. That ratio is going up pretty quickly. I'm proud of that. All right. Jonesy.
Thanks guys so much for having
And
me. I really do.
We legitimately love you, Derek. I want you to know that. Well, before I get into my spiel, I got a friend of mine who knows you very well, and I know he's got a bunch of questions too, but I got to let Joe take it away because Joe's all the way out in West Virginia. He's a spoiled brat. He's on the Eastern Panhandle, and he's got a ton of great wrestling pretty much in any direction that he drives to. He can go an hour to the west, and he's in Maryland for Ring of Honor, right in his own town. He's got EPPW, but he knows who Derek Stone is, and he's got some questions as well. So we're going to go ahead and let him go first. So, Jonesy, for those who thought that Derek Stone was just a Midwest legend, clearly your influence has gone far beyond the Midwest, and Joe is great evidence of that. Joe, why don't you go ahead and take it away? Okay, and I dropped again. This has been a nightmare connection-wise. All night, the lights went on.
Blog Talk Radio. There are no shows scheduled within the next 24 hours. Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
My life.
We're still on Facebook Live, so holler at everybody who's still chiming in.
Thank you guys, baby.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, bro. I'm going to have to figure out a way to keep on. Hold on a second. Let me think of something here. I can't even call back in. Goddamn. So many people still on hold, cuz.
Were you waiting for
Just maybe one more time, I look before.
Yeah, what's up?
Joe, you gotta link me into the show, bro. I dropped.
Okay.
Add me on conference call so we can be on the same time.
Gotcha. All right.
It's great to be a part of the legacy there. It's great to see what they're doing as far as continuing the things that Harley instilled in all of those young guys. See that legacy still going on. To be a small part of it is a big deal for me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just being able to work with Harley Race and Leland Race. I always ask this type of question, but what was it like working with somebody like Harley Race? I mean, you don't get much better than Harley Race.
Oh, it was great. Harley was one of those guys that we always had something in common. We were disagreeing on some things, and he fired a couple of times from WW. There's no secret about that. But it was always, but we always had a good relationship, personal relationship. Working for it was always fun. You never get to sit in and you'd hear a story from Harley, or just you're talking about something, or somebody bring up a name that you hadn't heard of in forever, and he's got a story. He had a story about it. He had a story about everybody and just different territories and the things that he wanted to accomplish, and just kind of being around him.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please enter your host PIN. When finished, press the pound key.
To start your show now, press 1. To hear important instructions, press 2.
Damn, it won't let me. God damn it. Be losing weight just sitting here stressing about this shit.
There. So when they kind of came along, I think it was good. You get an opportunity to showcase a lot of the really great homegrown Kansas City talent, and or throughout Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska. So yeah, we had a good run there for a while.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Absolutely. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let Renee come in here. He had gotten dropped, so he had to call back through my phone, so the audio might not be the best. Renee, are you with us?
I am, bro. I am. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to continue, man. We're having all sorts of issues. I think we're breaking the internet. I think that's what it's called, and I didn't even have to show my tits. Isn't that great?
It's fucking awesome.
Isn't that awesome? I didn't. Well, listen. Instead of going to me, Joe, I have a guy here who's been watching Derek Stone wrestle longer than I have. And I just decided to bring him back on. You need to get in the shot, brother.
My fault.
All right, there you go. We're live.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get closer.
We live. So, Sonny, I know you have an affinity for Dynamite Derek Stone, a man who I've dubbed the heavyweight husky Derek Stone. I don't know if he likes that or not. But you know Dynamite Derek Stone, man. Any thoughts or questions for a true legend of the sport?
Well, before I start this, Derek, I want to make sure you can hear me clearly since we are through a third party here. Can you hear me good, Derek?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. I can hear you.
Yeah, there you go.
Awesome.
Good.
Well, Derek, just a little backstory on me, if you don't know, man. I moved out to Kansas City from Philadelphia at about 2001, 2002. And coming from Philly with the independent wrestling scene, I gravitated to the Kansas City scene. And at that time, you were the biggest name going around. I've been lucky to be in locker rooms with you. It's been an honor. And my question for you tonight is, through your career, through the mid-90s to now, and through what I've seen with Midwest guys like Grizz and Jeremy Wyatt and Mark Sterling and so many guys, so many different promotions, has there been a favorite moment of yours wrestling here in the Kansas City area, the Kansas, Missouri area? I mean, we could talk about Metro, we could talk about NWL, WLW. Has there been just a standout moment to you, Derek, in these past 25 years of you wrestling here?
That's got to be a tough one.
Any particular moment that stood out more than the others. I've been lucky to have all well. It's the fact that I've gotten to make some real close friendships with guys like Niles Plonk and Mark Sterling and the King brothers. And being able to still be good friends with guys like Trevor Murdoch, Matt Murphy. All the stuff that I've done in WLW. So I know I'm not really giving you a specific answer, but I will give you one that was probably maybe the most memorable. I just so happened to be wrestling on a card one time with Johnny Dare's birthday bash. If you guys are familiar with Johnny Dare.
Yeah, Kansas City's own, baby. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I ended up having a regular, they were kind of doing a rock and wrestling thing, and I want to say this was maybe 2000. Maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe it was even earlier than that. Anyway, it was an eventful evening. We wrestled behind a chain link fence where I encouraged everyone in Kansas City to throw something at me, and they did. That was an awful lot of fun. We got to see T-Bone is, I think, what he was known as now. He was a student at Harley Race's Academy. He got hit over the head with a champagne bottle.
Wow!
Last time that they did wrestling and concerts for 98.9 The Rock, I believe. But it was a lot of fun, a lot of memorable situation. That someday, if you see me in person, I'll tell you the whole thing because it's a lot longer to get into here. But there were police, there was lots of and lots of fun. So that one, I'll just say that's probably the one that stands out the most, just because there was a lot of crazy stuff going on.
Cool. You got one more, Sonny, and then I'm going to take over, bro. What do you got for Derek Stone?
Man, it's not really so much a question, Derek. We are Facebook friends, man, and I would hope we consider each other acquaintances when we see each other. I respect what you have done in the ring. I will continue to respect what you do in the ring. I know you are somewhat of a locker room leader. A lot of local guys here in the Midwest look up to Derek Stone, and I tell stories about a young kid of myself when I was about 16, 17, sharing a locker room with Derek Stone in about 2000, 2001. And I just want to give you praise, man. I've got kids of my own now, and I take them to wrestling shows. And if Derek Stone's on there, you know, they're lucky enough to sit there and say with me, Derek Stone sucks, and Derek Stone hits right back, you swallow.
Every time.
Every time, like
every
money.
time somebody says, Derek Stone, you suck, Derek Stone goes,
says, you swallow. You know, and major heel heat, but honestly, brother, as a fan of professional wrestling, you'll be a legend in my eyes.
For real.
And especially in this Midwest. I'm glad you got the call into the 300th episode of Wrestle Talk. I'm going to step out here. Derek, thank you again, brother. Renee's going to take it over from here.
Adios. Thank you, Sonny, very much.
So, thank you. Sonny's a great wrestling fan. There's a lot of great wrestling fans in the Midwest. Sonny is definitely one of them. There's always been supporting. You know, that guy in the crowd in multiple promotions and been around, and that means a lot. Thank you so much. And I enjoy it every time he says that I suck. I do.
and you know, I don't think he really means it, but at the shows he does. Just for the record, at the shows, he absolutely means it. Well, Derek, I want to switch kind of completely and talk to you about something that may be a little bit difficult. So I had the pleasure to call the action at KCW Excellence at the end of 2019, and you were wrestling a young man by the name of Leo D, who was actually on the show a little bit earlier. He came on, showed love. We really appreciate him. And by the way, we do have Mike Seifkes coming up next. He's got some stuff he wants to say too. But here's what I wanted to say to you. I know that you're a well-respected veteran, a trainer, a mentor to many young guys. In that particular match, though, Leo D, at no fault of his own or yours, was injured. And since then, he has not been able to compete inside the square circle. And I never got a chance to ask you this, but I'm going to ask you now. Is that something that's difficult for you, even though we all know it was just kind of a freak accident? You know, not that it was as severe, but kind of like what happened with El Perro Aguayo Jr., you know, that situation where Rey Mysterio, it just kind of was unfortunate it happened. Once that happened, how did you feel, man? Was that difficult for you? Did you take any accountability in that, or did you, like the rest of us, realize that it was just kind of a freak accident? And how do you cope with something like that? Because I know a lot of injuries inside the squared circle are unintentional. It's not like somebody's going out of their way to hurt the other guy. It's just, it's a physical sport and things are going to happen. I'm wondering how a veteran like you deals with something like that.
Well, you know, yeah, well, the first thing that you think about, regardless of what happens, is going to be okay. You know, it's a permanent thing. Look, I've been in the ring sometimes, and you've seen guys, you know, they break their leg, and as bad as that is,
oof,
you know, it's not life-threatening necessarily. You know, I had my ankle shattered into like 6 pieces. You know, it's all metal now. That happened to me, and you know, and the guy, it through no fault of any. It's just one of those things that happen. You know,
right?
And you definitely are you're worried about that kind of stuff. So, but once I kind of found out that, you know, okay, yes, he's conscious, he's moving around, there's going to have some issues, but yeah, never something that you want to do. I take it as a sign of shame, sort of, if somebody were to get hurt, you know, on my watch or with me, and I know a lot of guys are like that. That's the way it should be, you know. Somebody's trusting you with the way, you know, how with things. So you want to take care of them as much as you can, and as much as that, you know, you want them to take care of you. So yeah, I'm glad to see that he was okay, and I think that he's healthy and his life is going well for him. So
yes,
you know, and we're probably gonna have some big announcement from this guy someday soon. So you know, but yeah, it's never something that's good. It's never something that, you know, you want on your reputation. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. And again, just to make things clear, I was in the building. It was an absolute freak accident. I've talked to Leo D myself. There's no one to blame here, but I know that as a professional, as a teacher, that's got to, either way, it's got to be a tough pill to swallow, right, Derek?
Oh, absolutely. You know, you never, you know, you do your best to make sure things like that don't happen. Sometimes they do. I've been lucky that, that maybe, you know, there's only been a few, thousands of matches that I've had, there's maybe only been a few things that have been, you know, not gone well, you know, and so, yeah, it's never something you want on your mind, for sure.
For sure. And you know what? I'm not going to say I'm breaking any news here, but when you're talking about a young guy like Helio D, don't ever count a guy like that out. That's all I'm going to say. Don't ever count a guy like that out. Well, Jonesy, I want to have you back in here real quick because I don't want to be selfish with the rest of the time. Do you have any other questions or thoughts for the legendary Dynamite Derek Stone?
I do. I have one more question, and that question is I was doing my research. I noticed that you actually wrestled a couple matches for the WWE. What was it like wrestling those couple matches for the WWE?
Well, yeah, you know, I wrestled quite a bit for him, actually, from about 1993 to around 2001, which is the last time I ever worked for him. So I used to work for him quite a bit. In fact, my very first match ever in 1993 was with Crush. I mean, it was the Dakota Crush.
Yes.
So it was always
wow.
fun. That was the first time I was ever in a wrestling ring in front of people, was in front of 20,000 people or so. So it was a lot of fun. They always treated me very, very well. I met some great folks that, you know, you hear horror stories about the company, but I've probably been there, you know, like I said, on and off several times, you know, a month for a while. Then I had a hot streak there for a while. I was constantly doing dark matches for them. And they always treated me very, very well. It was a lot of fun. Met a lot of great folks, you know, from behind the scenes as well that helped me out. Guys like Howard Finkel, he was my agent there for a while. He was the guy that kind of handled booking me there for a good couple of years. Sorry to hear him pass recently. Yeah, made a lot of lifelong, you know, kind of acquaintances there, and folks that I've been lucky enough myself to get calls from the WWE to send talent to them, and I've been able to do that for the last couple of years, and I've really enjoyed that as well. So it's just been a great experience for me all around. It's nerve-wracking, but I always try to send young students there if I can, show them, look, this is what it's like. This is the real deal. So pay attention. This is these guys' everyday life. So soak it all in, and this could be you someday, you know?
Absolutely. You know, that is just about everybody's dream, is to be able to work, you know, matches in the WWE. So that's my final question. Renee, do you have any other questions?
Well, absolutely I do. And man, I was so worried that when I got cut off last time that I wasn't going to be able to come back on, because when I say that I feel like this interview is overdue, I absolutely mean it. And I want to kind of move on to something else that may be somewhat controversial, but it's okay. It's episode 300, and we're going to keep it 100 here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. So the next thing that I want to talk to you about, Derek, was the transition for you from Metro Pro Wrestling to NWL. We've talked to Dak Draper, we've talked to Matt Jackson, we've talked to a lot of different people, but we've never gotten your thoughts on it. And the truth be told, a lot of what was going on, from what our perception is, was coming from guys like you, from guys like Chris Goff, and a few others that were involved in that transition. How exciting was that time for you after, at that point, being in the business for 20 years, seeing that something big was finally happening in Kansas City, man? Was that transition something that you were excited about? And or were you concerned that it was going to take away from the awesomeness that was previously Metro Pro Wrestling, man? I got to get your thoughts on that.
Oh, well, as far as taking away from anything that was going on in Kansas City has had great from way before Metro Pro was around. It's going to have great wrestling fans from well after Metro Pro has been gone. So that was never a concern. I think Kansas City is such a strong wrestling town and area that I wasn't worried about that at all. It was exciting, you know, as far as the NWL was. You know, there's a lot of big plans, and look, you know, there's been a little bit of bad blood here and there, and I think that always happens when things don't work out the way they should. But you know, looking back on it a couple of years later, yeah, obviously at the time, I think that it was exciting to see something that had potential, and it wasn't being done on the East Coast, and it wasn't being done on the West Coast, and it wasn't being done in Chicago. It was right there in Kansas City. So I think there was a lot of folks that had much of high hopes for that. And you know, and here's the thing: it's just it just goes to show you that the wrestling business is a tough business, and it really makes things big, and really makes things really work. You know, it takes more than money. It takes more than heart. It takes more than hard work. I mean, sometimes it just takes all of those things and more, and it still doesn't work out. But I definitely, I think that some of the fans in Kansas City fans responded to it. I would have liked to see a lot more been able to respond to it. But it was a fun time to see, to kind of live in the potential there for a while, you know?
No, I absolutely understand that. And I guess my follow-up question to you is, if you guys could have done anything differently during the NWL days, is there anything that you would have done differently? Because we were this close, Derek, to moving the shows to the training facility, which was very exciting. I mean, we were, 2 weeks away from the show that was going to happen there. It obviously never did. Looking back 2 years later, is there anything that you would have done differently?
Oh, I think there's probably a lot of things. And I think if you ask Chris Goff that question, he'd have a lot of things that he would have done differently. If you asked Matt Jackson, he'd have done things differently. If you asked Major Basin, he'd have done a few things differently. So I think that there's quite a few, hindsight is 2020 for sure, definitely. And so I think that there's probably a few things. I don't know that there's any one thing that sticks out, because, the way it is, in the wrestling business or in any business, it's like, well, if I would have made this decision, then I wouldn't have had to make this decision. So I would have made this decision, and you know what I mean? You can play that game all long. And I think that there were some things that worked out well, and I think that there were some things that just flat out stunk. And I think that there were some things that maybe had some potential, but we didn't just couldn't tweak it the right way. And that goes with how things were ran at the Performance Center and how things were ran, in the events and the kind of the non-existent shows in St. Louis. Those things there was always a struggle there. I mean, I think there's a lot of things that, if you ask a number of the individuals, even, that were involved in the company, I think that there were, looking back on it now, there would be a few things they would change differently. But, if you hear all night, it would go through well, this was the first decision that was good. This one wasn't so good. This one was okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Going back and nitpicking would be an absolutely Monday morning quarterback type situation. So I appreciate your transparency and your honesty concerning something that is still sensitive. I remember talking to Gabe Miller, and he's like, look, you know what, dude? Like, it sucked. We hated when it ended. What we really hate is when people go back and talk shit after the fact. So I'm like, look, everybody's going to have an opinion afterwards. I think you guys took a risk, took a chance that nobody ever expected to happen here in Kansas City. And honestly, bro, that was probably the most exciting 18 to 24 months of professional wrestling that I've ever had in my entire life. So regardless of how it ended, Derek, I want to thank you and everybody who was involved in that, because it was special to me. And that's all I can speak on, what it meant to me. So thank you guys.
I agree. Well, sure. That's good. That's nice to hear, man.
Well, I appreciate that. Joe, listen, I know we're getting near towards the end of the time. And here's what I want to do. Instead of closing it out with one more question, which I hope that in the near future we'll get an opportunity to talk to Derek again, I actually want to close it out with a little bit of a competition. Derek, Nightmare Jones, and you in tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. I know I don't really even have to ask Dynamite Derek Stone this question, but I'm going to anyway. Sir, are you ready to go one-on-one in a little bit of a trivia challenge against our very own Nightmare Jones tonight?
Yeah, let's do it. Sure.
Let's go. Enter Timmy. You know what to do, baby. Hit that music as we get into tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, Welcome to tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. During tonight's challenge, we will have the Dynamite Derek Stone going one-on-one against our very own Nightmare Jones in a trivia challenge. In this installment of the world-famous Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge, tonight's contest will be scheduled for a best 2 out of 3 falls. Again, our contestants are Wrestle Talk Podcast very own Joe Lance versus Dynamite Derek Stone. In a few moments, I will ask you 3 questions about a particular wrestling topic. Whenever you think you know the answer, simply shout it out. The first person to score 2 out of 3 falls will be the winner of tonight's Game Show Challenge. In honor of tonight's guest, the challenge category will be WLW Championship. This will give information about 3 famous wrestlers who have held the World League Wrestling Heavyweight Championship, which, by the way, guys, Derek Stone is currently the heavyweight champion of.
Wait a minute, WLW? I don't know anything about WLW. This isn't fair.
What do you say? You don't know anything about the legendary Harley Race or our guest tonight, Nightmare Jones? Did you not do your freaking homework?
WLW, but I don't know all of the champions. This is unfair. This is unjust.
Too bad, so sad, and here's what Mama Time thinks about it.
Man.
She thinks it's shit. All right, here we go. In a few moments, I will give you information about 3 professional wrestlers who have held the World League Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. When you think you know the answer and who I am talking about, please simply shout out your answer. Again, the first person to win 2 out of 3 falls will win tonight's contest. The question is, are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go ahead and do this. Question number 1. This professional wrestler has held the WLW Heavyweight Championship on 5 separate occasions. Defeating...
Derek Stone.
What was that?
Derek Stone.
That is incorrect, sir.
Oh.
Defeating the likes of Bing, also known as Haku, the dog-faced... That is correct! Nightmare Jones, that is correct!
Actually, I'm not going to take credit for that. Derek Stone did say that first.
Aw, so, Nightmare Jones, you're taking advantage of the audio discrepancies, but I appreciate your honesty. That is 1 point awarded to Derek Stone. Question number 2. This professional wrestler, known for countless tag team championships in NWA and WCW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and... Say that again?
Rick Steiner.
Rick Steiner is correct! Rick Steiner is correct, ladies and gentlemen. We officially have a winner of tonight's Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge.
I should have cheated.
Good stuff. All right, you know what? Jonesy, you still have the opportunity to save face here tonight for episode 300 of the Wrestle Talk Podcast. Let's see if you can avoid being swept. Question number 3. This professional wrestling has held the WLW Heavyweight Championship.
No.
That is incorrect. This professional wrestler has held the WLW Championship on 3 separate occasions. This wrestler has also held the WCW Hardcore Championship and the WWF Tag Team Championship with the late, great Andre the Giant. Who said... No, wait a minute. Derek said that first.
Yes.
He did. Ladies and gentlemen, a clean sweep tonight. The one and only Dynamite Derek Stone. Enter Timmy. Hit that music.
As Sonny Money Mayo would say, Derek Stone, you suck.
Hit the music. Enter Timmy. Where's the music, bro? What are you slacking over here, Timmy? What the hell is wrong with you? There it is. There it is. There. Let's go. Derek Stone swept.
I heard it. We've been listening.
He swept him.
We've been listening.
Woo!
We've been listening.
Oh, man. Good shit, good shit. All right, that's enough of that. Derek Stone, bro, you've been an incredible guest. Joe, what an awesome episode. And before we go, we actually do have 2 last callers. One of them happens to be the promoter from MEW. Mike, we only got a couple of seconds here because we got to close out the show. But you've been waiting, bro. And I wanted you to come on and say whatever you need to say, bro, because you've been a fellow wrestling fan in the Kansas City area with me for a long time, and I didn't want to leave you hanging. Mike Seifkis, what's on your mind tonight, bro?
How you doing, sir?
We're doing great, man. Awesome episode, bro. How you feeling?
Well, good. I hope y'all staying safe, and I want to say congratulations on 300 episodes, man. Much love to you.
Well, much love back to you, bro. Hey, listen, I know you had Derek Stone scheduled for the show that got canceled, man. What can people look forward to pertaining to MEW for the rest of 2020?
Well, in regards to Derek Stone, I do have it on good authority because, as I'm sure you know, we Primo Angel that Hosley took over MEW.
Right.
And I can't tell you from a good authority that, you Derek come back.
Wow. Well, I love to hear that, Mike. Well, listen, any word on when we might see an MEW show coming up in the rest of 2020, bro? Do you have a date for us? What's up? Break some news.
From what I'm being told, they're locking down a date for beginning of September.
The beginning of September. Well, Mike, I thank you very, very much, man. I know I'm going to see you out at MEW. Do me a favor and deliver a message to Mr. Ortega. The Night Owl will be in the building, and no matter what he says or does, when I get behind the microphone, I'm going to call it all the way down the middle. I know Angel doesn't necessarily like that, but just know, no matter what match it is, the Night Owl is always going to call it right down the middle, just like I said. Make sure you deliver that message for me, will you?
I will sure tell, sir.
Thank you very, very much. All right, Mike, thank you for being here. Well, Derek, as you can see, people from around the professional wrestling world, all the way from the Eastern Panhandle to right here in the Midwest, they've got a tremendous amount of respect for you. And I personally continue to be excited that you are still active in this business, because going back to the CSW days, you guys were working up in North Kansas City. I remember my man Sonny was telling me a story when he was a youngster. He used to look up to you, and nothing has changed. You continue to mentor the next generation of independent wrestlers. So we thank you for that, man. Any shout-outs or any kudos you want to give to any young up-and-coming talent that might have been kind of groomed under your wing that you want to make sure people keep an eye out for?
Definitely got to keep an eye on Dr. You got to keep an eye on the Vita picture. You got to keep your eye on, definitely, you got to keep your eye on Camaro Jackson. You got to keep your eye on any of those young lions from WLW, even Sean Patrick. Yeah, lots of great talent there. Brian A., Tabitha Felinas. Also great managers out there like Malice Mayhem. So, yeah, there's a ton of great talent in the Midwest. So just keep your eye out for all of them. And thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
No doubt about it. Well, Lynn, so sorry for the technical issues, Derek, but you know what? This has been a long time coming, and I really do hope that we get another opportunity to talk, because I personally am a fan of yours, and calling some of your matches has been the highlight of my commentary career, bro. So as long as you're healthy enough to do it, please continue to compete, and I cannot wait to see you in action again very, very soon, man. Grace and peace to you. We will catch you once again down the road, and congratulations on sweeping Jonesy.
Oh, man, thank you so much. You guys have a great night, and keep doing what you're doing, Renee.
Hey, blessings, Derek. You take it easy. Jonesy, final thoughts for Derek before we let him go, baby, because 300 is in the books, Chico.
Oh, man, just thank you so for coming on. It's been absolutely amazing. Do not be a stranger. Hopefully we can bring you back on again sometime. We'd love to have you back on.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. Hey, don't forget about Viral Pro. So go to viralpro.com, too. And hopefully you guys are all real soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, shout out to Craig, Niles Plonke, all the wonderful folks over at Viral Pro, Josh, my man behind the camera and all that. Yo, subscribe and see some of the best wrestling in the business today. I mean, you're talking about Miranda Gordy. You're talking about Derek Stone, Niles Plonk. Oh, my God. Even Blade is in the house. Shout out to my XWE folks as well. Guys, the action continues. Pro wrestling is nowhere from done. We are back in another era of gold for the professional wrestling business. On behalf of Nightmare Jones, Sonny Money Mayo, DeJuan Mills, the FWWC, everybody
I'm getting
right
in
now.
here 300 episodes, baby.
You can't cut me off.
No, I'm so sorry.
Shut your
I'm
mouth.
so hyped.
Shut your mouth. I know. I'm going to give you your moment.
I'm going to know my place,
Just
son.
relax back there, Casanova. You keep it so Brooklyn right over there, all right?
Thank you.
Jonesy, talk your shit, bro, before we get out of here. Tim Miller, sorry we couldn't get you on Father Craven. Call in next week. Promise you'll be at the head of the line. What an amazing show. And you know what, guys? We hit 30 likes and over 1,000 views during tonight's 300th episode of the Wrestle Talk podcast. Shout out to keeping it 1,000%. Shout out to the man, hell yeah show. Shout out to the halftime hell yeah show.
Yep.
And you know what? The biggest shout out in the whole wide world to the world's premier fantasy wrestling promotion, the FWWC, and anybody who employs your boy. Starting with KCXW, you know our streaming service is lit. That's KCWrestleNet.com. And you'll get commentary from yours truly. What more could you ask for? Jonesy, close us out so I can get the guys back in here to talk some shit.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 300 of the Wrestle Talk podcast. Absolutely amazing, ladies and gentlemen. Until next week, I say peace.
Peace. Hit the music, baby. Come on, boys.
Tell him what's up.
Let's go. What happened to all this energy?
300.
300 in the books right now. Keeping it 1,000. Go ahead, tell them, bro.
Album drop today. Go get the album.
Go get it. Vinsanity with a 5, Boppy.
Hold on. Shout out PCO.
Get in here. Get in the
Shout
shot.
out PCO. Shout out Derek Stone. Shout out to Caleb. Shout out to the whole St.
Share
Louis
this
crew.
broadcast.
Shout out to Jay Hollywood.
Kansas
Shout
Wrestling.
Man, and you know what? I'm going to say it now. Joe Lentz, I
STL.
wish you were here, brother.
I wish he was here. He should live here, yeah.
Yo, Joe Lentz, I miss you, brother. Next time I see you, I hope it's summertime so I can suplex you in the pool again. Yo,
Here we go,
300.
baby, let's
Renee,
go.
thank you for letting us be here in
Let's
your
go.
crib. Me and this man, Vinsanity.
Shout out to Marcus Mayhem. Marcus Mayhem. Shout out. Hey, come here, sneak in here real quick.
Hold on, let
Come
this
here,
man
sneak
have
in
his
real
due.
quick. I told y'all we had a party going on.
Let's go.
32 likes, baby. Let's go. Hollister, I told you we had a party going on in this building. I told y'all Billy Simmons, King of Bleach Style. Shut up with the lag. You ain't paying for the internet. Hardcore Hoss. Shout out to you, Jess.
Wow.
Shout out Kurt Gannon. Shout out Bro, we got
What's up,
legends
y'all?
in the house. We got
What's up, y'all?
We got Mrs. Mills.
Kurt
we got
Gannon,
Kurt
Leo
Kid
D,
Reavers in the house.
Kid River.
Hey, shout out to my
Chad
job,
Dazzle right there.
Arnell.
Look at that thing.
Shout out
Chad
to Jason
Dazzle.
White. Thank you, sir.
Let's go.
From
Shout out to Billy
From
Simmons.
Insanity.
Y'all need to get in this
Shout out to Blade.
Shout out to Blade.
Chad Dazzle.
Shout out to MEW, baby.
Mike.
Let's
Sifkus.
go, baby. Cycus. Get it right.
All right, respect.
Respect. Shout out to Scott Rathbum. Scott Rathbum Engraving. Get your Wrestle Talk podcast mug right now for $20.
Shout out to
Shout
out to Talking Dynasty.
Hey, shout out to Adam Frex. Hey, that man got a sunburn. What's up, my man Frex? Herb Simmons, thank you, SICW. Thank you, Dynamo Pro Wrestling. Anybody else y'all got there? Man, hell yeah. CCW, what's up to Jason Wells, my man Lee Montgomery. Shout out to the Heel Deal all the way from Canada, PCO. Who else?
Ken Murphy, bro.
Oh, shout out to Ken Murphy. Shout out to West Virginia and Virginia. Hardcore Sis, Hardcore Hoss.
Shout out to my favorite champion, Jay Savage.
Savage.
Shout out Jay Savage.
Best champion in KCSW
Hey,
history.
and major shout out to my homie Slammer. Yo,
Slammer. Y'all
Slammer.
in the shot. Y'all in the shot.
Slammer.
There it is. Hey, y'all go ahead and have a great night. The Wrestle Talk podcast will continue. And last but not least, let me make the most appropriate shout of it all. Shout out to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. This would not be possible without you. You give me the breath to breathe. You give me the beat in my heart. You give me my beautiful children. And the one person who deals with this shit every week, y'all come and go, but the one person that deals with this shit every motherfucking week is my wife, the Queen of Extreme. Shout out to you, Maribel. I love you. You are my angel. You are my heart. You are my queen. And thank you for giving me the permission slip to do this shit. Do what I love. A man pursuing his dreams, working hard, and continuing to contribute to professional wrestling around the world. The Wrestle Talk Podcast at WrestleTalkPodcast.com. You know what, gentlemen? I think it is time to get the hell out of here and go smoke a cigar.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Adios.
Peace.
Hit the share button. You heard me? Peace. Oh, Slammer. They had to bring Slammer.